Here we go.
おはようございます。
おはようございます。
Hello everyone. 第68回 Final
Next
Fantasy
10 years of Final Fantasy XIV live letter.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Final Fantasy XIV letter from the producer live number 68. 皆さんに自己紹介お願いします。Please introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Naoki Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh, they put her Amy against a green screen. I see.
こんばんはな人も多いですね。Final Fantasy XIV プロデューサー兼ディレクターの吉田です。よろしくお願いします。
That is a really cool background.
そして本日進行を務めますコミュニティチームモルボルこと室内です。よろしくお願いします。My name is Toshio Murochi, also known as a Fox Clone. You are a global community producer.
Yo, are they gonna sell this right here?
MC stuff for today's
Please sell this.
はい、そして、本日はですね、本日の、プロデュ PLL も、日本語と英語のバイリンガル放送でお送りいたしますので、我らがあゆみさんがスクエニアメリカオフィスから入ってくださっております。
They're too loud. I tuned it down. Oh, a bit higher on their volume. Sorry.
So we have a special member from Square Enix America office.
How's that?
あゆみさんです。
How's that?
おはようございます。
おはようございます。スクエアニックスアメリカの徳武あゆみです。通訳を務めさせていただきます。よろしくお願いします。Hello everyone, this is Amy from the Square Enix Los Angeles office. I'm going to be supporting for the translations today.
はい。で本日の、PLL はですね、このセットアップをご覧になった方もいるかと思いますが、吉田さんが話したことは、あゆみさんが通訳してくださいます。で、私が喋ることは翻訳しながら進めていきますので、で、私からは大して重要な話は出ませんので、私のことを翻訳し忘れてるなというのはスルーしておいていただければと。
If there's a 1 hour presentation about Blitzball, I'll be happy.
Yoshida-san explain things in Japanese, and then Ayumi-san will do Yoshida-san's voice in English, and I will translate myself. はい、そして今日の PLL はですね、前半戦はFinal Fantasy XIV の新たなる挑戦、次の10年に向けてということで吉田さんからいろいろご説明いただきます。そして後半はですね、休憩挟みまして後半は、フォーラムで事前に募集しました、パッチ 6.0 をプレイしてみての、Q&A セッションを。
By the way, they're gonna shout out drop the new 16 trailer
now.
Today's
Later Live has two major parts, and then first half is the kind of presentation by producer director Naoki Yoshida, which is where we are and where we are going for next 10 years.
Where we are, where we're going.
And then we have a taking break, and then latter half is the Q&A session based on your gameplay of
where we're been, where we're going, the pitfalls, the possibilities, the perils, and a promise.
ですね、私がこっちを見てるとき、こうなってるときは皆さんのコメントを見てるときなので、今日こういうシチュエーションすごい多いと思うんで、
The music is on their end, right? You chat for anyone who's watching just their feed.
So you might see me turning my head sometimes when I'm speaking, but I'm actively looking that people are making as you watch the stream. So you may see me turned this way, but I am still participating. So just wanted to let you know.
まあちょっとね、日本のコメントでね、この手の通訳放送はテンポ悪いんだよなって言ってる人いるんですけど、まあグローバル全体でねお届けしているので、吉田の長い話をですね、あゆみさん一生懸命ね通訳してくれてるんで、そこはね、それを言われると我々ちょっと悲しくなるんで、
Yeah, the Endwalker soundtrack ships pretty soon.
ファンフェスのステージぐらいで思って見てもらえると嬉しいかな。
And we do see some comments about how translations kind of drag on the pace. It doesn't feel as quick. But I mean, it's here to try to facilitate communicating Yoshida's comments. It makes us sad if you're disappointed that it's in two languages. But perhaps if you look at it like a FanFest stage event where we have the Japanese and English, maybe that might help it make it more fun.
コメントで今日は 6.1 はがっつりじゃないんですかっていうのもあるんですが、So we see some comments. Do we have any further updates for 6.1? So
we're gonna get the date.
6.1 がっつりってことだけはないんですよね。
I just gave us the date today.
パッチ 6.1 の内容と紹介に関しては3月4日、
I'm guessing first or second week of
April パッチ 6.1 特集パート1の PLL をやる予定なので、6.1 のまあでも今日ちょっと出ますけどね、6.1 の詳しいところはそっちに譲ります。
So yeah, today's broadcast is not literally going to be just about 6.1. We may touch upon it, but then the details are going to be explained on another episode of the live letter on March the 4th. This is JST.
So that's
but
part
we will go into
one.
details of that timing.
March 4th is part
あと
one,
はまあなんかこう重大発表
which
的
means
なね
it's
ニュアンス
April.
取
Yeah,
ら
it's
れてる
definitely
け
April.
ど楽しく気楽に行くので皆さんもですね緊張せず気楽に今日は見てもらえると嬉しいです。
And some people might be bracing for a very important announcement when we talk about today's broadcast, but that's not the intent. We would love for you to just relax and just have fun with the broadcast.
Uh-oh.
面白いですよ。
なんかこういうこと言うたびにさ
When I say that, I feel like there's bad news coming.
出るんだよな
Every time they do that, it sounds like there's bad
俺さ
news.
でもいつだっけ
Blitzball is canceled.
新情報発表会でさ、言ったばっかでね、ライフは
I think the tone that they were talking about there meant like
I mean, I understand we were talking about like the future of Final Fantasy XIV, but every time we mention something like that, people are like, "Oh no, is Yoshida going to quit?" And
see
no,
they
I think
want
I
to
told us when we were doing our announcement showcase in February. It's like 14 is my life work.
The
It's not like I'm
connotation
going to just up
was
and leave suddenly.
changes, like
もうそんなんで嘘つくの
anxiety
は
inducing
嫌だから
changes.
なんだろうそんなね自分の
And I think
年
they're
のね
like, that's-
重大発表をしますみたいなね
Less
こ
of
と
that,
言わない
maybe.
ですよ。
ちょっと恥ずかしいね。
うん
I mean, I don't want people to be going around saying, "Oh, you're such a liar," because I mean, I'm not the type of person who would make these kinds of like my personal announcements on a live stream. So
さあでは、やっていきましょうか早速。前半だいたいね2時間ぐらい、後半も多分2時間ぐらい使うんじゃないかなと思います。なのでご飯食べたりですね今日土曜日なんで飲める人はお酒飲みながらとかでも全然いいので、楽しくいきましょう。
So we're looking at at least for the first part, we're looking at about 2 hours broadcast. And so just you're free to do like you have dinner or like eat lunch as you're watching the broadcast. It is a Saturday, so if you want
Please,
to
like,
start drinking
go
early,
eat,
you're
drink.
more than welcome to do so.
Like,
さあ行きましょう。
like you don't have to watch it all. Just like take care of yourselves.
でいいかな。はい。じゃあ早速いきますが、改めて今日
Oh,
お
man,
話しする
they're
内
so
容のトピッ
funny.
クおさらいしておきましょう。
Okay, so jumping right in, let me go over the topics
This
we'll
will not
cover.
be a test of your reflexes.
で、まず一つ目はちょっとですね、まあ14これまで、
Oh,
正確にはね
we're doing a
11
recap.
年やってきているので、まあちょっと振り返りを最初にね、皆さんへの感謝も込めて、やりたいと思います。
I like how they animated the
First topic.
the
Of
pointer
course, it's been
icon.
about 11 years
when
to
they
be
came in.
accurate. How long 14 has been going on? So we'd
Oh,
like to.
they said
kind of do a little
2010.
bit of a retrospect.
Oh, they're starting with
just convey our
vanilla.
Thanks to our players.
Oh,
and look
I
back on everything.
my mind just went to
まあ
ARR
そ
to
れを振り返
today.
った上でですね、まあちょっとこの先じゃあさらにもう10年は僕続けたいと思ってるんで、まあ、この先10年さらに14を発展させていくために、まあ、新しい挑戦やっていきますよといろいろそこについて、まあ、どんなことやっていくのかというのをお知らせしたいと思います。
And then once we do look back on our past, then we look forward to the next 10 years. Because as I
I
mentioned, I
have
would love to
not,
continue
Shankly.
having Final Fantasy XIV for yet another 10 years. So there are many different things that we want to do in order to continue expanding Final Fantasy XIV, many challenges that we want to take on. So I want to touch upon some of
Good.
those items in today's broadcast.
Yeah.
でここまでいったら一回休憩を挟んで、放送の
Like,
後半として
giving
3つ目
you-
パッチ 6.0 行月のフィナ
Giving you
ーレ、プレイして
all
み
your
て
50 abilities
何か
at
ありま
level
すかと
1.
いうので Q&A
Please
事
do
前に
that.
質問募集していましたのでそれに対していろいろお答えしていこうかなと思ってます。
And then once we do that, we will have a break in between, and then it'll go into the latter half of the show where we kind of ask
Turn
the
off my
players,
controller.
what did you think after playing 6.0? And so we will do a bit of an Endwalker Q&A.
あと10年間吉田リビングデッドを使う気だなみたいなコメントがあったりね。
We're seeing comments like, oh, 10 more years, huh? Is Yoshida going to kick off his Living Dead?
まああったよね
What?
確かにね。 吉田の量産を開始しましたとか、クローンの吉田が誕生したので紹介しますとか、そういう
I know what Living Dead is, but why?
But yeah, I think I've seen
Like, it's gonna
comments
kill
similar
him?
to that, and like people saying, "Oh, we have mass manufactured Yoshida clones."
でなぜか私はもう完了して
No, it
ま
was
す
a morbid, dark
So-
joke.
いやね、I
It was a joke about Yoshida's mortality. Holy shit.
では早速いきましょうか。まずはまあ正確にはね11年なんですけど、大きくくくってまあ10年ここまで皆さんとねやってきたのをちょっと振り返っていきたいと思います。
Okay, so jumping into the timeline here, of course, accurately it's 11 years, but like we'll call this the 10 years of Final Fantasy 14.
That's sure. We all like to forget 1.0.
まあいろいろありましたね。まあ2010年。
Oh my god, you're just throwing up a
その
timeline.
12月に運営体制ね全部
はい
開発も、一新して僕はここから参加ですね。
So first, 2010 was when it all started. Many things that happened caused us to sort of reconsider the development structures.
The game
and
still doesn't
there
look
was,
like that screenshot on
a
the
lot of
top
changes that
left.
were made in order
It has
to
never looked
kind
like that. Ever.
reboot the title. So this is when I
This
joined in,
one?
Yoshida joined into the
The game
project.
has never looked that good.
で2021年の2011年の10月14日に、まあ、14日が縁起がいいだろうっていうので申請をやりますよという発表してますね。
And then 2011, October 14th, we were thinking 14th must bring us good luck. And that's when we announced that we are going to have Final Fantasy XIV Reborn.
海外の皆さん詳しいよね。あゆみさんもインタビューにいてくれたと思うけど、9番を遊んでみたいので復活、
I mean,
9番のサーバーを復活させる
You think they're just gonna do this and like, oh look, this 4 years right here, and this is gonna go really quickly. You know they're not just doing that like a timeline thing. They're gonna go back and be like, let's talk about more things.
I love how they know all these details, and I'm sure Amy had sent into the interviews
Because
as
we
well,
all want
but
the next 10
people were
years
asking
info.
about, oh, are you going to make an FF14 1.0 classic like WoW Classic did theirs? And Yoshida answered Nightmare, and so people are calling the time of 1.0 in Nightmare. It's awesome.
でまあ2012年の11月11日にですね、時代の終焉トレーラー公開とともにですね、一旦申請の準備のために Q14 のサービスを、終了させていただいてます。
He didn't sound happy about that.
And of course,
It's a
in
nod.
November 11th of 2012, we
Obviously,
titled
you're
it
not
the
familiar.
Ending
He was
Era,
shouting out Kyle
and we
Bossman,
closed
who got to
the
interview Yoshi
service
P.
for the,
Kyle Bossman trolled the hell out of
original
him.
version of Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
まあ、9番からねやってくださってる方も結構いるし、9番の捉え方って結構まちまちだとは思うんですけど、9番のラストスキンはそれはそれでまた独特のゲームデザインの MMO として結構ね好きだった、面白くなったんだよって言ってくれる人たちもたくさんいて、まあ、僕らシャットダウンするのを決めながらも作ってたところに対してそういうね評価をもらってたりするのはとてもありがたいことなので、僕らもすごいね実は励みになってました。
And of course, people who have been playing since the original 1.0 may have their different opinions about how the game had played. But there were people who thankfully acknowledged how 14 was starting to shift, and they did take notice about how the game design was unique, despite we were looking to sunset the original version. And so it was wonderful that people acknowledged that, and that was very encouraging for us as a team.
ちなみに9番から今日視聴してくださってる方でQ14 からやってるよって方、どうですか？手を挙げてもらってもいいですか？
So if I could have people in the comments, by show of hands, I don't know how you raise your hands, but like anybody who's been playing since 1.0, the original Final Fantasy XIV, we would love to see who's been with us since then.
I played in 1.0, but I stopped playing until A Realm Reborn, so I don't technically
Thank you
count.
very much.
Yeah.
すごい
I played for like 2 months and then I stopped and
That's
didn't play again
amazing.
until
Thank you,
the ARR beta.
まあここからねあと10年お互い健康に気をつけて楽しんでいきましょう。
But yeah, we're looking forward to the next 10 years. So yeah, let's all take care of our health and keep going. That's awesome.
I didn't want to pay a
で、
sub fee.
2013
It's
年
like
で
the
すね、
game's not good
ベータ
enough
テ
to
スト
sub
やり
to.
ながら、2013年8月27日についに新生ウォルズや正式サービス開始することができました。
What came out in 2010? I had to play Final Fantasy XIII.
We start
Xenoblade
beta
Chronicles,
testing
man.
for A Realm Reborn, and then August 27 of the same year, we were able to relaunch as A Realm Reborn.
In September, they held the launch event at PAX Prime, then called PAX West. Or maybe it was called PAX Prime back
5人
then.
ぐらいで設計をスタートして、
That was when they started giving away the
2011
first
年の6月から
T-shirts for I Beat So and So
6人のプロ
Primal.
グラマー
And
が
it was
コー
Titan.
ドを書き始めたのを覚えてるので、実質そこから2年2ヶ月で新生リリースしてるので、もうちょっと驚異的今振り返ると。
I got to see 1.0 at Gamescom in
And looking back,
2009.
So it was 2011 in March. We started at least doing the framework, just the design structure first, and it was a very small team that worked on it. It was 5 people who started on the base framework, and then starting June of that same year, 2011, we had 6 programmers starting to write code. And considering it took about
I guess they're doing this because they want
to
to. It's going to have a payoff, obviously, when they get to the future, where they're going to talk about size changes of the staff and everything.
で、念願だったですね、ファンフェスっていうのを2014年の10月からですね、スタートすることができました。今でも覚えてます。
There's some really good documentaries
and of
out
course,
there.
By 2014 October,
All right, here we go. We're moving
were
faster.
able to hold our very first fan festival. That was something that we really wanted to do.
I still haven't been to any of the fan fests.
初めてやった北米のファンフェスの基調講演で、
Yeah, No Clip did a really
ステージに上が
good
った時の
documentary on
大
Final
歓
Fantasy
声でですね、
XIV.
もう足が震えて。
I still remember it today. The first time we did our fan festival, and we started out in the North America region. And when I took the stage to do my keynote presentation, and just the cheer that I received from the audience, man, my legs were shaking when I was up there.
で、初の拡張であるヘブンズワード、2015年の6月にリリースして、その後の8月に
Heaven's Ward didn't have a fan
全世界
fest.
累計登録者数が
It
500
was
万
at
人を突破した。
Judges Week, an event that used to happen before
And then
E3.
next, we were able to launch
Like
our first
in
ever
May.
expansion pack.
E3 was in
Heavensward,
June, and it would happen in May.
2015 June, and then soon
Square
after,
Enix had a
we
judges
reached,
event where it had a
5
bunch of their
million
games playable in
registered
advance.
players.
That would be at E3.
で、この
And
辺
they
り
had
は
a
ですね、我々開
single
発チームにですね、
station of like
高難易度、高難易
2
度
rows of computers set up, 4 and 4, I believe, to play Heaven's Ward.
のをやったらですね、いや難しすぎんだろってなってですね、我々も
So there wasn't a fan fest for Heaven's Ward, but there was a way to play it early. You actually could play it early
本当重要
at
な
that
時期だったと
event.
思います、ここは。
But this is
Storm-
around the time when people were starting to
Oh, not
plan
fan
up
fest. I mean
for
media event.
higher
Sorry,
difficult
media event,
content,
media
higher
event, media
difficult
event.
content, and the dev team got so excited about. Oh yeah, you want difficult, and so
There's no
we
media
gave
event
you
for Heaven's Ward. I'm
really,
sorry.
really tough content, and people
But there's one
started
for
complaining now
Stormblood.
about. Oh
There's
no,
one
this
for
is too
Shadowbringers,
difficult.
and there's one for
This is too
Endwalker.
difficult. And so we were
But
trying
Endwalker
to
was
find
remote.
that balance. It was trial and error trying to get to that nice balance. But I think it was really important that we're making that conversation.
あれでね、僕は人生の格言の一つをね、学んだんですよ。プレイヤーの皆さんには、いやーちょっと簡単だったなって言われるぐらいがちょうどいいんだなと。
And it was then that I learned this very valuable lesson, which is I think it's best to keep the difficulty where the players would walk out of it saying, that was pretty easy.
で、グレンのリベレーターを発売した
Are they talking about
2017
difficulty?
年6月で、まあ、この辺りからようやくこうバトルコンテンツ以
Dev
外の
intent.
そのもう
They want you to feel it's
世界
easy.
に住むみたいなことをより具体化していけるようになったのがこのぐらいの時期で、まあ、それがね、功を奏してですね、登録者数が、まあ、この時点で1000万人突破と。
And then, of course, Stormblood released in 2017 June, and we started looking at various other types of
Hey, highly
content aside
anticipated.
from battle and combat, content that would involve the feeling of living in the world
Stormblood is where we
of Final
lost
Fantasy XIV. And I
cleric
think
stance as
that
a
really
stance as
struck a
healers.
chord with people. People
Became
were
a buff,
resonating with it,
and then it
which
vanished in
thankfully got
Shadowbringers.
us to our registered player number up to 14 million players.
思い出されるグレンのリベレーター初日のねラウバーン
Yeah, like they doubled their player
that's
base from
nice.
Heaven's Word to Stormblood.
And I still remember when Stormblood first launched, Rauban Extreme in the Niners.
I got the shirt. I'm not wearing it,
Arimashita
but I
ne.
got it. I survived it.
I think we all remember that.
Forming the lines. I think that was the first taste of JP strat versus NA strat. Or JP made lines, NA
But I
didn't
mean,
want to do
with-
lines.
Even with that failure, we learned from it, and we were able to build a much better queuing system.
They've never had anything on the level of that
2018
since.
年になると
That Stormblood Early
全世界
Access
登録者
was
数が
the
1000万人を
roughest launch
1400
window
万
they've
人
ever had.
を突破して、2019年には、1600万人を突破とありがとうございます。
So I'm sorry, this is where we hit 14 million is 2018 August. And then moving on, we reached 16 million players by 2019 May. So thank you so much for all the players that are staying with us.
そうして続けてですね2019年に、漆黒のヴィランズを発売しその年末にはですね全世界累計登録者数が 1800 万人を、突破となりました。
And moving on, we released Shadowbringers in 2019, and soon after, we surpassed 18 million registered players.
They went from, in the span of a year, they went from 18 million to 25.
見ていくとその
That was the biggest gain, 7 million players in a year.
がばらついてるようにまあ見えるのかもしれないんですけど
December 2020 to December 2021.
増えれば増えるほど
Wow.
新規が当然減るんですよね。パイが決まってるところから新しい
They
人を
got
呼ばなきゃいけないので
5 million
だから
in less than
ここまで
6
の
months.
数字になってるのにさらに数百万増やしていくっていうこと自体はとてもすごいことでこれは本当ね、まあ、開発運営チーム
There are
の
people who
マーケティン
do
グ PR
player
チームが
census
コミュニティの皆さんと一緒になって
reports
達成してきてる数字なので本当にこれはね誇らしい数字だと思います。
It's not, obviously it's not
Looking at the
25,
numbers,
but
it
it's
might
a few
seem
million
like
of active players.
There's
Like
no
legit
real,
active.
like nothing of note. Oh yeah, the numbers are just increasing. But if you consider this, if we have a certain number of people already playing the game, and if we have a single pie that we're taking numbers out of, like you would expect the numbers to start going down. But it's interesting that we see more and more players join us even after all these years. We are seeing millions signing up. So, of course, I really want to acknowledge the development team, operations team, but also the marketing and PR teams working with the community to kind of promote the title and get the word out. So I'm very proud of their achievements.
そして2021年、去年ですね、12月2日にはですね全世界累計登録者数が2500万人を突破しちょっと昨日の数字とかは見てないですけどまだ全然まだ上がってってると思うのでで12月7日ですねすいません2週間ほどちょっと遅延をさせていただくことにはなってしまいましたが、行月のフィナーレを発売して、ハイデリンゾディアーク編完結というところまでこぎつけてこられたなと。
Yeah, you duped us all. That PR team and marketing team, Heidelin Zodiac.
We surpassed 25 million registered
Sure.
players.
And Walker, it's only about that.
I did not see yesterday's numbers, or like as of yesterday's numbers, but I do understand that our numbers are still increasing. And then afterwards, I know we had to delay the release by about 2 weeks. Again, apologies for the delay, but we were able to release Endwalker, and finally we were able to conclude the overarching story of Heidelin and Zodiark.
まあ長かったようで僕は結構あっという間の 11年
Yeah. So here, let's just understand this,
本当にね
chat.
世界中のプレイヤーの皆さん
This
光の選手
July
の皆さん
22nd mark right here,
関係各社の
20
皆さん
players.
本当に
This is
ものすごく
before the
こんなに
spike
支えてもら
in
う
WoW
タイトルは
players.
他にないだろうと
It's
思う
right
ぐらい
around it,
支えていた
the
だいて
start.
ここまで来れた
But they were
ので
like
改めて
approaching
感謝を
20 million on their
ありがとうござい
own
ます
without the WoW bump. The WoW bump
And
is this.
it feels
Short
like a
amount of
long
time, it
but
gained a lot.
man,
But
these 11 years
it has
went
been
by
going
very
up
quickly
for
me.
a while.
And all of our warriors of light, our players, members of the media, all of our supporting partner companies as well. There were just so many people that supported us throughout this all. So I do want to take this opportunity to convey my gratitude from the bottom of my heart. So I sincerely thank everybody.
はい。まあ、あとは本当ね開発チームにも本当に厳しいスケジュールでやってきてて、まあ、実は拡張パッケージそのものの開発期間って1年とか、下手すると1年切ってたりするんで、まあ、本当に頑張ってきてもらいました。
And I also want to acknowledge the development team as well. They were always working against a very harsh schedule, and even developing some of our expansion packs. Sometimes we have only about a year or even less than a year to get through all of the tasks that needed to get done. So I really want to show my appreciation to them as well.
さて、ではこれを踏まえてですね、ここまで歩んできたその11年、9番の状態を考えれば、これ以上ないぐらいの成功をさせていただいたと思ってます。ここはあんまり言葉を隠さずに成功できてると思ってるので、それでいいと思ってます。ここまではある意味もう過去になったので、ここからさらに次の10年また挑戦を続けていきたいと思います。
And looking at the trajectory here, and the path we've walked down.
To be honest,
I think
it's not just
I want
impressive
to
what they
consider
do
this
with the
a success
game.
from what we had taken.
I don't think people understand
and what state it was in when we had first taken on
the negative
the
perception of
and to
Square
bring it
Enix
to where it is
post
now.
14
I'm
1.0,
not ashamed to
which was also on the heels
declare it. It might
of
be a
Final
little
Fantasy
awkward in the
XIII,
Japanese, but I believe
which
it is
was
a success. And I think it's a
very
good thing
panned.
that we've gotten
Not
here.
as
But
13's nowhere
now
near
that
as
we
bad as
have
1.0.
gotten this far, all of this is now in the past, and so we want to look to the future. We want to see what kind of challenges we can take on.
But two numbered Final Fantasies did bad in a year. It was not good. It was not looking good. All right, here we go, the future.
So, for the second part of this presentation, as you see, it is entitled Newfound Futures.
By the way, what if this was a real-time... They're like, this is actually not CG. This is a real-time screenshot of our new graphics engine. I would be like, ooh, let's go. Hope you all got 3090s.
ぐらいの以外ではほとんどやめる気がなく続けていきますんで、この先もぜひ皆さんよろしくお願いします。
And me personally, as Yoshida, unless the CEO says, Yoshida, you need to leave, and even then, I think I'm going to fight him. Or if, like, the development team, the operations team...
Please make that the final
or
fight.
if I got to die... Those are the only extreme cases I would even consider leaving the 14 project. I want to continue working on Final Fantasy XIV, so your continued support will definitely be appreciated.
というわけでですね、まず今回その10年さらにこうせっかくねここまで日本初のそのサービスでこの規模まで来れるってなかなかあることじゃないので、
Just so you know, they can't end PS4 support anytime soon. Is the third best-selling piece of hardware in history. It's behind PlayStation 2 and DS.
Title, and considering
like
that this game
PS4 is
was
king.
launched from a Japanese development
They
studio,
can't
and being
pull
able to
PS4
expand
support.
to this
It would be
global
very
scope,
detrimental.
It's a
It's
rarity,
too big of a
I
player
think.
base.
And so my next goal, my future goal, is
Like
now
maybe in
looking at
5 years,
7.0 and
halfway through this,
leading
maybe.
up to that, what can we do?
Maybe in 5 years.
7.0 って言ったかで。
Yeah, people can't get like PS5s. PC parts are hard. They cannot. minimum 5 years
People are
before you can even
already
start talking about
speculating
that.
oh no, 7.0 confirmed? Well, I mean, we are already talking about scenario for 7.0. I'm not afraid to say that we do intend on doing a 7.0.
まずここに向けてちょっとコンセプトを
I'm
話
glad you're
を
able to
さ
say
せてもらい
that
ます
because I thought you said
まずそ
that
の
already.
一つ目がこちらになります
Here we go. Solo. This
Now,
is what a lot of
being said,
people
I
are
do want to
expecting.
establish what my thinking is and the concept behind what we're trying
I
to do
wonder
leading
if
up
they're
to
gonna do the-
7.0. And this is the first point.
Here we go.
まあこれ具体的にどういうことっていうのはこの後ちゃんと、お話ししようと思います
And of course, I will go into detail as to what this exactly means.
そしてですね
I heard a rumor that there's going to
7.0 に
be
向けて
a single
チャレン
player
ジとしてですね
option.
こちら、第一次
The game we've known about this. I heard there's going to be a single player
の準備開発っていう
option
のをやって
for a new
いきます
character.
And then next, again,
You will not actually
moving,
be on any like
up
data
to
centers. It's its own
7.0,
thing.
And one of the
and you don't
challenges that we
interact
want
with
to
other
take
players.
on is
I
our
want to see if it's true or
first
not.
graphical update, at least the preparation and the development for it.
まあなんで
They can't make it
第一次
offline because there's too many server side
この
things.
項目の掘り下げでちょっと
But I
話を
heard there's a like a solo queue thing for the
And of
game.
course, when we dive into each of these different points, I will touch upon why we are calling this the first graphical update.
まあ一応先に
No, you just don't have to like it'll be
あの
you don't interact with any
7.0
players. You're in like
PS4
instances the whole
が
time.
遊べなくなるってことはないです、それはないのでお約束しておきます
It would have to be like a Switch where
I
you
do
just
want
don't
to
see other
clarify though,
players.
because I am seeing a lot of comments wondering about this. This does not necessarily
Because
mean that we are ceasing
so-
the support for PS4 as of 7.0.
See,
so I
see,
do
here we
wanna
go.
clear that,
They're
clarify.
not anytime, no time soon is that happening. Like
そしてですね
PS4 support's
今日
staying for
三つ目
years.
せっかくなのでパッチ
Just-
6.x シリーズで
yeah, PS4
どん
is
な
not
ことを
going
やっていく
anywhere.
かというのもお
Just-
知らせします
Just calm down.
And then the third point, I mean, since we are here, I would like to take the opportunity to cover what we are planning to do throughout the 6.x series as a sort of roadmap.
But my question's about how they're going to do a solo player, a solo
詳しくよりお伝えしていこうと思い
campaign
ます
while still being online. I want
into
like
the
we know
details?
trust and stuff, but the rumor that you won't be like you don't have to even interact
ま
with
ず
other
コン
people
セプトの一つ目
running
ですね
around.
一人でもみんなでも遊べる RPG
Here,
で、まあ、さらなる
this
進化をしていきま
I
す
want to see if it's true.
So
Like,
our first
people want their
concept,
immersion.
an
They
even
don't
better
wanna see other
RPG,
players.
alone or with friends.
これまあ
I
何
wanna
か
see
と
if
いう
it's
と、
true.
まあ、読んで字のごとくなんですけどその
This will be huge. If they're doing it, it's true. You're going to see another surge of people.
RPG って呼ばれてます
Final
So, I
Fantasy
mean,
has a
it is
significant portion of its fan base
what
who
it
do not want to play
says, Of
multiplayer.
course, but yes, I understand that Final Fantasy XIV as a game genre would be categorized as an MMORPG.
そこでですね、まあ、僕この11年ファイナルファンタジー14をやってきて世界中のこうプレイヤーの皆さんとイベントだったりこう、まあ、ファンフェスも含めてですけど
The two things I'm
たくさんの
expecting is
ゲーマー
in
の人
character
たちと
creation, there's going to
話をして
be
きました
single player, multiplayer
And of
option
course,
that you choose
throughout
before
the
you
11
finish
years
character
of doing
creation.
Final Fantasy XIV,
And I'm expecting when 7.0 rolls
we
around,
did various events, gaming events, including Fan Festival, and I had the opportunity
There's
to
gonna be
speak
pre- and
with
post-time skip.
different gamers.
そこでですねあとそのマーケティングチームに市場調査とかをしてもらって、まあ、これね定期的に拡張のたびにやってるんですけど、やっぱりこうそこで出
I'm
て
just
く
throwing
る
out bets,
答え
chat.
っていう
Wanna
の
make it
が、
bets?
まあ、なかなかブ
I'm
レイク
trying
ス
to
ル
make
ーで
this
きないなっ
fun.
ていうのがあったりします
Let's get some bets going. You bet there's going
And
to
of
be a
course, I would
single player?
have my marketing teams perform market research as well, and this is something we regularly do when we start to plan for upcoming expansion packs. And with the information that we receive, and there's always like a question that we never seem to find a way to break through.
2つあって1つはファイナルファンタジーシリーズ大好きなんだよ、すごいファンなんだ全部やってるよただし11と14以外ねっていうのがめちゃくちゃ悔しい
So there's actually two, and one of them is we see there's a lot of players that love Final Fantasy, and many that claim they've played all of the Final Fantasies except for 11 and 14.
There you
which-
go. There
which
you
is very
go.
frustrating.
This is big.
まあ
They
11もね
care about
今
this a
かなり
lot. They
アップデートを
absolutely
かけ
do.
てかなり大部分ねソロで遊べるように
And 14's their
快適に
biggest
して
money-making
ますが
game. They-
14はさらにその先へ行きたいと思ってま
This
す
is huge for them.
And of course, we are paying attention to Final Fantasy XI players as well, and we've made various updates. I think it has become very solo friendly recently, but with Final Fantasy XIV, we want to go beyond that.
See, here we go. Here we go. Oh
オンライ
shit.
ンなんだよね。
They wanna go beyond
人と遊ぶの
trust.
嫌
The trust system.
こう
See
人
ya.
間関係作るの嫌っていうのがですね、やっぱりナンバーワンなん
Trust
ですよ
are
ね
in 11 as well.
そ
They
の
were
プレイをし
originated
な
in
い
11.
理由っていうところで。
The second point we are trying to reach a breakthrough is people who comment about, oh, online play, that's I don't want to deal with having to play with other people.
Oh my God, here we go. They're gonna do it.
Relationships online.
They're gonna
And
do
that's actually a very large reason,
Holy
if not
shit.
the number one reason many players kind of hesitate playing 14.
だから10年かけて MMORPG っていうジャンルじゃなくて一人でもみんな
Sure
で
don't
も
wanna
遊
change
べ
your
る
bets yet,
RPG っていうジャンルにしたいと
Do
14
you
を
want to change your bets?
So what I want to do here is spend the next 10 years and break out of that MMORPG category. I want this to be an RPG that can be enjoyed alone or with friends.
まずなので、7.0 でまでの間、
Okay.
フェイスシステム
I got too excited.
をやっていきま
No,
す
I was overhyping it. It's probably
so,
not that.
as a
Here we
lead up
go.
to 7.0 or until that time, we will continue to make updates to the trust system.
パッチ 6.1 から 6.5 までの5つのメジャーパッチで全メインクエストの必須 ID と4人用の透滅戦を全てフェイス対応します。
So as it says here, trust compatibility
ARR,
for all main
that's
scenario
ARR
dungeons
is
and for player trials
solved.
to be added in patch
The-
6.1 through 6.5.
まあ
Pray-
順次なのでね
Praetorium, Castrum,
パッチ例えば 6.2 とかを見ると中途半端なところまでし
MSQ
か
roulette,
対応されてないとか
it's
いう
bye-bye.
ことが
See you
ある可
later.
能性は高いんですけどそれにね
I mean,
怯え
this is
ている
not
といつま
everything,
で経
though.
っても
This is
でき
some
ない
of
ので
it.
全部一気には不可能なのでもうなのでこの 6.1 から
The
6.5
rumor is that
つまり
the
7.0までの間を
squadrons,
次に飛び上がるために
grand
もうどんどん
companies are gonna
順次やって
become
い
the
くという
solution
期
to
間に当て
this.
させてください。
It's going to be your grand company people, your
And
squadrons.
so, of course, these are going to be incremental implementation. And so you might look at, say, patch 2 point something and 6.2, and you might notice that maybe not all of the dungeons have been supported with the trust system compatibility.
It's going to be
But
gradual.
if we are afraid to make progress and be just in the middle of work in a certain major patch update, we won't be able to make progress. I think it's impossible to do everything at once. So we are trying to address this as we can.
This is
and
good.
We're looking at this as a preparation for 7.0.
Doing it as an
and so
ongoing
we would like to
project
ask
with
for your
piecemeal
understanding
so it
as
doesn't
we
delay any
lay
patch
these
content.
foundations.
This is
その
excellent.
第1弾となるパッチ 6.1 では新生オールゼア編のうち、2.0
There it is.
範囲を
Starting with
全て対応します
6.1, MSQ roulette, bye-bye.
So
See
the
ya.
first implementation, patch 6.1, will make a Realm Reborn, and this is just patch 2.0 range, and the scenarios duty become trust compatible.
そしてですねそれに伴って一部
Yeah,
初期の
they're gonna go
メインクエスト
backwards.
ID
Yeah,
とか 透滅戦も
Okay,
リニューアル
8-player
します
trials will not be updated yet.
And then
They will be
further
considered for
improvements
7.0
will
or
be made to some
later.
low-level main scenario dungeons and trials.
でちょっと注意なんですけど蒼天のイシュガルドに入ってからの8人
8-player trial would be
以上に出てくるあれらはちょっとやっぱりコストを全密に
all the
した
final
んですけど
bosses,
どうして
right?
もこう 6.1 から 6.5 までの期間
And
で
then
は
all
対応
the
しきれない
hard
ので
mode.
8人の透滅戦に関しては
Leviathan
7.0 以
onward,
降順次
right?
対応していくつもりです
Yeah, but
You
Leviathan
may see the
onward
disclaimers
won't.
on the bottom, but for the
And Heaven's Ward
8-player
onward
trials,
won't.
especially those with
Yeah, hard mode won't be done.
the Heaven's Word expansion. I'm afraid
But they're
we are
considering
unable
it.
to update it at this time. We tried to calculate all the cost and the resources that it would take for us to address all
If
of
I could
this
skip
within that
cutscenes
sort
in
of
Praetorium
6.1
again,
through 6.5 timing, but I'm
I'm
afraid
gonna be happy.
we would be unable to allocate the resources for it. So we will get to it after 7.0. Yeah, these
I will
updates
do
will
a
be
reaction
considered for
stream
7.0
to being
or
able to
later.
skip
もちろん皆さんご
cutscenes
存
in
知の通
Praetorium.
り、
I will do it.
通常のねマッチングがなくなるわけじゃないので、あくまでストーリーを一人で進めていきたいっていう人のための機能なので、レベリングルーレットだったりね、
I'll ham it up for that
その
one.
まま継続していくので、そこはご承知おきください。
And of course, we don't intend to do away with the regular matching systems. Your leveling dungeons and
Here comes.
queue
Here
matching
comes.
in duty finders will still be.
Will MSQ
active
stick
and
around with
available.
skippable
These,
cutscenes?
trust compatibility is primarily for those who.
No, you can't skip with a
have a strong
pre-made in
desire to play
Praetorium.
through these story dungeons on their own.
It's locked. It's a special. They lock that option out.
そうですね。8人透滅戦は今回行月のフィナーレでハイデリン透滅戦でテストケースとしても含めてやったんですけど、やれることは
They haven't said anything about skippable cutscenes yet, though.
確証を得られたんですけど、まあ相当やっぱりコストがかかる。
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most scared, 1 being the least, how scared were you when I almost convinced you there's going to be a true single-player mode for this game?
8人なんで責任
Were you freaking out?
のかかり方がちょっと減るんでやっぱり、まあここは逆にマッチングの面白さみたいなところも味わってもらいたいので、一旦何千ゼロ以降にさせてください。
Zero, and even worse. You were
Of
into
course,
it.
with these 8-people trials or 8-person battles, we did try it out with the Mother Crystal trial, and we were able to see success as like a test case, but it did require a lot of resources for us to build it. And
Oh,
then
wow.
if we were
So it
to
did take a lot
start
of time to make
applying
that.
that system to existing dungeons, we'd have to adjust the mechanics so that it would accommodate.
I'm just gonna
for,
say this.
the trust system. So at this time, we made the decision.
You could just like
to move
nerf
forward
old
with
content, like
just
story
the
content,
instanced
like just
dungeons.
overtune the
And
trust.
with
Like
an
who? It
8-person
doesn't matter at this
trial,
point.
I think that sort of reduces the responsibility per person going into the match, hopefully. So we're hoping that players would still jump into like a duty finder and hopefully.
Do they not know that
enjoying
Heidelin
out
is
of
easier
matching
with
up
trust
random
than it is with
people. So at
randoms?
this time, we are unable to address it
no.
within the 6.1 through 6.5 period,
Oh,
but we
no,
are
I don't
looking
think they
to
know
it for
that.
7.0.
It's
or
way
later.
easier with trust.
でちょっと注意なんですけど、まあどうしてもフェイスっていう呼び方をすると
Kate Westwind is 8-person, so you'll not be able to do that with trust.
NPC といけんのかなってイメージがちょっと
It's
強い
an
と思うんですけど、
8-person trial. It won't, they said no 8-person trials.
こ
So Kate Westwind
う
will
そ
still
のマッ
have
チングで
to
しかい
be
けない
with
からこ
people.
そ、じゃあ俺は
Until maybe
みたいな
7.0 when they're gonna
みんなちょ
consider.
っといなくなったりとかしてたと思うんですよ。あれまで全部
Essentially, they said this is going to be a slow process. This is going to take time, and it's going to be updated over years.
冒険者ギルド
But them focusing on A Realm Reborn first is extremely important because A Realm Reborn has the most issues still.
こう光の加護を持っている
Like
であろう
honestly,
他のメンバー
Heaven's Ward
みたいなイメ
Onward
ー
is
ジで
pretty
組む
fine.
ケースが多いです。
They can do improvements, but it's not
And
as
I want to make another
dire need. Dire is too
point,
strong of a word.
Of caution here. Whenever we say trust compatibility, I think the thought that can we go into this dungeon with members of the Scions?
No, it's
Or any
squadrons.
sort of named NPCs.
No.
And some of these story dungeons
Here we
have key players kind of leaving the scene, like where the Warrior of Light goes into a dungeon and say somebody goes up and say, I'm going to take care of matters over there. We can't have them come back just to join you in the dungeon. So in those cases, especially the earlier dungeons, you will see your trust members as like members from the Adventurers Guild or
There you go.
maybe other people who
Perfect.
have the Echo accompany you in these dungeons.
ただ、まあ
Makes
キー
perfect
になる
sense.
ストーリー上のキーになるポイントで、まあこいつはやっぱり本当はダンジョン一緒に行ってほしかったなってプレイヤーの皆さんが思ってるようなポイントは シナリオ一部カットシーンも含めてちょっと変更してでもできるだけ
Yeah,
それに
Arnvold is in ARR.
まあ添えるようにやっぱニーズヘックと対峙するときは
Like Hoary Boulder will probably get. You'll probably get Hoary Boulder and who's the elf caster guy? I forget his name.
一部ねそれもちょっと
You're probably gonna get him in a lot of
かな
those.
とは思います全部は無理なんで、はい、
Riol will probably be one of them.
But
Or
that
how you
being
pronounce his
said,
name, the
there
patch
are
guy, eye
certain
patch guy?
key points in the story where we do understand players might have a very strong desire to have particular NPCs accompany you in a dungeon. So in some extreme cases, and not extreme cases, but like some key points, the team will make some adjustments. We may have to change a part of the script so that it'll make sense for the character to join you.
I love that they're open
An
to
example
this.
I can come up with off the top of my head is probably the Nidhogg battle. I'm sure a lot of people would have thought like, oh, it would have been nice to have Estinian join as part of the Trust NPC. So we're considering having that available. So there may be some content that accommodates for
This
certain NPCs
is
to join
good,
you. I'm afraid
because
we can't address all of them. We can't make it happen.
This
with
was so
all of
good
the
about
dungeons.
Endwalker.
So your understanding on that would be
Context specific characters with you that enhance the narrative.
ごめんねちょっと長くて6.1 特集パート1の時にまた詳しくお話ししようと思いますが、新生オルゼアの後半って結構今のレギュレーションと違ってしまっている
I don't know if it's going to be in here. They need to
かなり
just
手が入ってますいろいろ
soul crystals need to go away. You just need to start as
And
white
of course,
mage, black
with,
mage,
the
paladin.
details of
Old
6.1,
jobs
we will
old
have a
thing needs to die.
dedicated live letter for that,
Has to
and
die.
I will delve into details at that time. But I do want to mention that much of the content, especially in the later half of ARR, differ in how the regulation is set up. So there are changes that have been made.
まあ例えばトトラクとかの、ドゥーンってなってヘビースローがかかるヘビーがかかる床とか
I'm very curious about the patch content for ARR too, if they're going to make any
For
significant changes
example,
to
like
that.
when you go into the Thousand Miles of Totorak, and
Yeah.
you step on those like poison floors, and all of a sudden you are
You get
hit
slowed.
with heavy or slow. We're actually getting rid of that.
No! What?
Q14 から申請するのに急いで作ってちょっとないなとかいうところ
No one will know the pain and suffering of running through that anymore. Why would you do
And there
this?
are also some aesthetical changes that we wanted to make. There were certain areas of the earlier part of FF14 when we were trying to quickly just relaunch as a Realm Reborn.
Wait.
So there were areas where lighting may not have been 100% to what
Yes.
we would have been satisfied with. So we went back in and adjusted those as well.
The desert areas, like
そ
Sogoli
して
Desert, has so many lighting
他にもで
issues.
すね8人
Southern Thanalin has a
8
ton
人
of
パーテ
lighting
ィーバトルの
issues.
一番最初であるリット・アッティン教習戦なんですけど、なくなります。
And then one of the first 8-person party battles that you encounter, I believe, is Camp Westwind.
Here we go.
And I
Don't
want
do it.
to mention
Don't do
that
it.
we are doing away with that.
No!
Getting shocked.
Why?
盾としてね、無人として身を挺して
What are
や
you
って
doing?
き
You're
た
ruining the game.
ね帝国将軍の一人、まあ将軍ではないけど正
You're
しくは
ruining it.
8人でフルボッコはいかがだろうか
No
と
more
いうことでですね、
The meme is dead.
ちゃんとコストをかけてですね、クエストインスタンスバトルとして生まれ変わりますので。
No! That's so sad.
Considering Litatine is like the shield of the Garland Empire.
Wait, did it make it
And
harder?
he's technically not a captain, but like, I mean, he's like a very prominent figure. I think it would be very humiliating for 8 people to come in and just beat him up. So we actually allocated the resources to rebuild that battle so that it's going to be
Hard?
a quest instanced battle that you go in.
Okay, this is
他に
good.
も内閣外
I thought they were just
と
getting
呼ば
rid
れ
of
ている
it.
8人ダンジョン、あれらもですね、今回すべて4人用 ID に作り直してあります。
And then, of course, the Praetorium and the Castrum
I can't say it either. I mean, don't worry.
Many
Why don't you change the name of it and we can all say it?
Guardian bases that you need to go. They were originally 8-person content, but we are going to be changing it so that these are 4-person instanced dungeons.
なのでアルテマウェポン戦も切り出して4人用としてシナリオモードを作って
So trust, you can run it with trust.
ラハブレアが憑依したサンクレットさんを8人でただひたすら
Wait, they said Thancred. Thancred. You might get your wish, Thancred tanking.
ストーリー用のクエストインスタンスバトルと
Spoilers, by the way. There will be a twist with Thancred.
And so your battle with Ultima, or the Ultima weapon, will be changed to a 4-person battle.
Okay,
we are
yeah.
adjusting the scenario mode for
I mean,
that.
the
And then
fights,
where you go in
whatever.
and silently beat up La Habrea, aka Thancred, being possessed by La Habrea,
Silently
is
beat up.
also going to be adjusted so that it's like an instance during a story quest.
というわけで、
this-
まあそんな風にコストもですね、レギュレーション今のプレイフィールにできるだけ近づけられるように、いろんな改修をしつつですね、パッチ 6.1 から 6.5 にかけて、
So they're breaking it up a bit.
4.x までの
Yeah,
ですね、
this is
展開
good.
をしていこうと思いますので、
Because also means there's
お願いします
shorter length as well.
So, yeah, in a nutshell, we are going in and making many adjustments so that it fits with, kind of follows suit better with how the game feels at this time. So, throughout patch 6.1 through 6.5, we will be looking at the various content up to the 4.x series, the different instance dungeon to make adjustments.
I still think they need to do a lot of work
さあ
on
では
the
このセクション以上で
2.x
次へ行きたい
patches.
と思います。
They gotta
So moving on
2.1 and
to the next
2.2 need to be
section.
like nuked. They need to change them.
2つ目の新しい挑戦ですね。この、6.1 から 6.5 までの期間、まあ、7.0 リリースまでの期間を使ってですね、まず、まあ、長期運営やっていく上で第一次のグラフィックスアップデートを、裏で
No single player
さ
mode
せていただきます
Yet.
So our
8K,
second
8K ray
concept,
tracing.
and
Here we
again,
go.
This is going to be the preparation that we will be doing throughout patch 6.1 through 6.5, leading
Oh.
up to the launch of 7.0. It is a long-term, or like preparations for long-term operation of the game, and we want to be doing this in the background, but we'll be preparing for our first graphics update.
So it's probably coming in
ただ
7.0
なぜ
then.
第一次グラフィックスアップデートと言ってるかっていうと、まあ2時も3時もあるんだろう もしかしたらってことなんですけど、なぜかというともうここまで11年運営してきてるともう尋常じゃないリソース、グラフィックスアセットが存在してます。
So the reason why we named this the first graphical update, and that's of course to imply that there will probably a second and or third after this, but our game has been in operation for about 11 years, and considering all the graphical assets we have produced, it's an insane amount.
やっぱり一気に極限まで上げようとすると絶対コンバートミスがあったりとか、そもそもコンバートの物理時間が足りなくてもうデザインチームが無理です絶対できませんっていう答えになってしまうので、まあやれることを一回やって引き上げたらまたその状態で安定が見えたら次のをやってっていう形で、まあその第1回目が来るんだというふうに
Well, the game just looked like
思ってください。
Fortnite.
And so if we attempted to update every single piece of graphical asset or resource that we've put into the game all at the same time, we might run into issues of conversion errors, or it's just physically takes a lot of time to convert everything. And consulting with the graphics team, they already know that we can't address everything all at the same time. And so what we're trying to do is address these in phases so that
Okay, that's
we
fine.
can test out certain elements, see how they work, and if it seems to be stable, we move into the next phase. And so I think with our first graphical update, this will be like the first time we start testing some of these elements.
4K グレープスでめっちゃ
4K grapes.
I saw a comment that says 4K grapes. Thank you so much for that. That is hilarious.
あそこに 4K とかねなんか40万ポリゴンとかかけてるとそれこそ940みたいにキャラクター全然表示できねえぞってことになっちゃうのでまあちょっとこれから詳しく説明はしますよ。
That's hilarious, but like imagine spending so much resources just to get the grapes to be 4K resolution, and imagine spending 400,000 polygons just to depict a piece of fruit.
Wait,
We
is
won't
that a
have enough
reference
resources to render
to
our
1.0
characters
trolling
on
right there?
screen.
About
But let me
vases?
go into the details.
Flowers having more polygons?
そのグラフィックスアップデートは一気に、7.0 での投入を予定してます。
So again, these graphical updates are intended to be implemented in 7.0.
まあその次期拡張パッケージまでの間っていうのを、まあ、僕らのそのグラフィックスのアップデートのシェーダー追加したりとか、いろんなものを追加していく。
I hope they say like just something tangible, like character faces are going to be first thing to be improved, or general lighting is going to be improved.
So until 7.0, this will be again our preparation period. So this is where our team will be testing out various additions to the graphical elements, including different shaders. We'll probably need to write more programs. This is where when we're going to be doing our asset conversions, etc.
でここが重要なんですけど、あくまでやっぱりマルチプレイのゲームであるっていうのをぜひ覚えておいてほしくて、やっぱり画面全体の美しさ、9番から申請した時に感じていただいたように、やっぱり総合的な美しさ、世界の美しさっていうのを追求していきますよと、コンセプトとしてはね。
And of course, one key point that we want players to understand is that this is still a multiplayer game, and so we want to strive for the aesthetic quality of the overall picture and looking at the sort of beauty or the element, aesthetically pleasing sort of overall picture.
So still no hats for bunnies.
ホライゾンのさクオリティでさ動くと思われたら困るわけだよ。あれで俺たち300人とか描画しなきゃいけないんで、いやできはするんだけど、みんなの PC 動かないよ。
It probably means improved draw distance as well.
And I see games like Horizon Forbidden West, and I don't want to get people to think that we'll raise our graphic quality to that. It's amazing, yes, but imagine having to have to render 300 different characters on screen at the same time at that quality. And
I like how he goes to the extreme. He literally goes to the extreme. He's like, it's not looking as good as that.
So please keep that in mind.
You should have said Elden Ring.
勘違いされるのが一番怖い。
That's the scariest thing for people to kind of misconstrue.
で、当然なんですけど、アニメーションとか、まあその世界全体、画面全体の美しさっていうところにやっぱりアニメーションとかライティングシステムっていうのも大きく寄与していると思うので、このあたりもアップデートしていきます。
Will not be comparable to those standalone titles.
The sort of overall aesthetic.
It's not going to look as good as
animation
FF7
is going to be a
remake.
key element
No.
we're looking at. Lighting is another element that
This
we
game
want
does
to
need
adjust as
improved
well.
lighting badly.
まあ例えばアニメーション
And it needs to stop being so taxing how they implement it.
メモリがって言われますけど、
poorly
メモリの割
implemented.
合をちょっと増やすことによって今まで
There's
よ
so
り
many shadow glitches in this
長尺の声
game.
を作れるとか、あとまあそのライティングが
Yeah, people shouldn't have to use shaders. Like, shaders shouldn't be necessary.
より見えてきて、リソースに手を加えなくても綺麗に見えるみたいなところもあるんで。
So what we mean by different updates to animation and lighting systems is, for example, I know people would automatically start talking about, oh yeah, memory issues with animation. So if we revisit some of the allocation of the memory for animation, it might allow us to create emotes with a longer animation loop, or with lighting, they're just having more lights than we had originally set up would allow for details that would have been sort of washed out or like not visible because of insufficient lighting to kind of show up. And so that will allow for an improvement in the graphical quality without us even having to adjust the elements that are already in the game.
まあ重要なところです。
はい。
スタンドアローンのゲームクオリティにはなりません。皆さん頭にすり込むためにもですね、寝る前に必ず一度復唱していただきたいぐらい。
And again, very important point. I want to stress again, the new graphics will not be comparable to those of standalone titles. This is, again, very important. I want you to remember it. I want you to repeat it before you go to bed. That's how much I want people to remember.
まあとはいえやっぱりグラフィックスいろいろ手を入れて
It's not. I mean, you're probably gonna need the base minimum specs is probably gonna go up to like the 1000 GTX 1000 series for Nvidia. I bet you're gonna need at least a bare minimum. You're probably gonna need like a 1070, 1080. It'll probably be recommended to have an RTX or an AMD.
We do want to update the graphics for sure, and so that means your processor might require more power
it's also
in order to render these graphics properly or like efficiently. So we will probably have to update the system requirements for your machines and your PCs.
My i9 9900K should be sufficient.
We will try our best to accommodate for as many models of machines.
2 years from now, I'm definitely doing a PC upgrade.
But we do want to make you aware that
no, I'm waiting 2 years. When this comes out, I'll do my PC upgrade.
でやっぱり気になるプレイステーション4なんですけど、この7
Yeah, when I hear him talk about PS4 a little bit, I am concerned about PS4 keeping up with some of this. Like maybe you need a Pro?
And I know people are wondering about PlayStation 4 support as of 7.0. I think what's going to happen, and this will probably be done prior to the launch of 7.0, so sometime within the 6.x series. We do want to optimize the PS4 version for sure.
Okay.
で、そのさらにですね、まあ PC 版にあるようにグラフィックスオプションのカスタムっていうの PS4 版少ないんですけど、あれを増やしてですね、新しいそのビルドとか重くなる部分があるので、もっと綺麗でいいやという人はオンにしてもらえばいいんだけど、まあオフにしてそのフレームレートを優先するみたいなことができるようにしていくので。PS4 のサポートっていうのも少なくとも 7.0 のタイミングではしっかり
I bet Sony's probably going to help them with this project. I absolutely bet they're going to send some Sony staff to help out.
There are various graphical configurations that you can set up on the PC version. Like you can customize some of the like display options, and we understand that it's a bit lacking in the PS4 version. So we do want to implement options in the configuration so that you can select like prioritize frame rate or if
performance and fidelity mode.
If you're okay with performance kind of dropping slightly, but still have the graphics performance, then you can select that option, whatnot. So I do want to assure you that we will continue supporting for PS4 at least until 7.0.
Oh wait, they said at least to 7.0. Wait, whoa! Is this the new character face? Wait, it's gonna look this. I see pores. Is this really what it's going to look like? I mean, the hair is not much better, but the lighting in the face is way better.
Some people think, oh, is that me?
It's a little unsettling. It looks good. It looks like a PS4 face. Looks like a high-end PS4 character. Yeah.
I don't think this is what we are looking for. This is not what we would desire.
Wait, this is a troll? This is not what we're getting?
Some people are saying this looks like a very tired Yoshida.
Why would you do this? Why would you show me this?
It kind of does feel awkward.
Oh. Dang it. What?
So we are going to be working to make it look this real.
Come
まあいわゆ
on.
るフォトリアルを追
That
求してい
hair
くと
wasn't that
グラフィックス
good
アップデート
though.
こっちに行きがちなんですけど、おそらく
That was so
Final Fantasy XIV の
believable.
世界やキャラクターが
What?
気に入
I
ってくだ
thought
さ
that
ってる
was
方って多分
okay.
こっちを求めてはいないと思ってます。
Oh no, now I'm really worried that this is
And
not that
some
big.
games, of course, their intent is to
Oh my
lean
God.
towards that photorealistic depiction. And
Wait, are they gonna go
people
for, like,
tend to lean in this direction? But I think for those who enjoy the
cartoonish?
aesthetic of Final Fantasy XIV, this is not necessarily what
Hang
we
on.
want to begin with.
では、
Yo,
今
make
そ
it
のグラフィッ
anime.
クスアップデートって
Are you gonna make it
実はテ
anime?
スト開発もスタートさせてるんですけど、テストスタートしてからまだ1ヶ月と1週間ぐらいなんですね。
So with these graphical updates, we are already starting testing.
Can
Actually,
you just show us
and
what
it's
it's
been
going?
about a
This is
month and
mean.
about a
Show
month
us
and a week.
something. Don't show us a
なので
fake.
その1ヶ月
Yo, you're violating your own thing. That's a mod, Yoshi P. You posted a modded character.
今出してもまあいけるだろうここ
You
まで
can't do that. It's against
まあこれ
terms
以
of
上目指
service.
すんだけど、まあ少なくとも一旦お見せしてもここまでは間違いなく大丈夫だよあると 7.0 でっていうのを用意してきたんでちょっと見ていきましょうか。
And so we are still very early in our testing stages. Again, about a month or so testing,
see
but
something?
we do have
Yes, please.
results that we're seeing that
No.
is.
Show us
Of course, we're going
something.
to aim higher than what we're going to be showing you, but it's I think it's coming out pretty nicely,
Yes.
and we are relatively confident. So let us show you some of these images.
Oh my god, it's gonna be a Lalafell, isn't it? Please be a Lalafell.
こちらがですねテスト期間1ヶ月目のサンプルですキャラクター
Oh,
ですね。
okay. That looks
So from first month
Okay.
of testing, so this is one of the
Okay.
samples.
これ
not
左が
bad.
今で
Like looks
右
decent.
がテクスチャー
Yeah.
をハイレゾリューション化してます
Yeah.
髪の毛も
Not
含
bad.
めて
Like,
あと
that's
シェーダ
okay.
ーを、1枚入れてます
And so what you're seeing
Yeah.
is the current image on the left, and then on the right, we've made the textures high resolution, and we.
This is like an early era PS4 right here. The previous, the fake out was like a high-end PS4. This is like low end. There's no pores on this character. That's the difference. There's like no. The other shot looked like the 16 shot of the hero that they do at the end of the trailer.
And one thing that we did pay attention to was the self shadow, or whenever there's like an object that drops a shadow on yourself, especially if you look at the bangs and the shadow it casts underneath it. That was something.
The eyes
that
are
I
definitely
was
improved
kind
a
of-
lot.
I wanted to address.
Just the lighting, they don't look as
looking at
flat
the
anymore.
cutscenes,
It's pretty good.
in the past.
And seeing the hair side by side, the hair is better. It is
もっと上
better.
目指せるとは思ってるんですけど、動作保守
Definitely is
あまり
better.
にも重くならないっていう意味では、
But now I'm scared my
今
hair will
一旦
look
お見せできるような
drastically
ことがある
different when-
まあこの上さらにいろんなことをやった上で最適化していって、まあやれるより高いところは目指していこうかなと思ってます。
So of course we do want to strive for even better, but at this time I think from 1 month of testing and making sure that
This
the
is-
the game itself runs properly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you do
this
see
is
some
what
pores.
We can show at this
Yeah, it's-
time.
look at
and
that
then
lighting.
We'll
It is
continue
much
to
better.
test and we'll continue to sort of improve and then apply optimization.
Like this one's a little bit more
Well,
subtle.
yeah,
This is definitely more the lighting,
彼でやるとこんな感じ
but
です。
just not everything not
Sorry,
looking so
they're
flat
blurry?
is kind of nice. I mean,
でちょっと見
this is more to
込
show
ん
off
でるサンプルで
shading.
す。
Oh wow,
Here's a
that
sample of the
one,
Mikote.
that's the eyes.
草化
The
粧
reflection in the
の
eyes and
ボケ具合
stuff is so much better
が
there.
なくなったりですね。髪の毛の柔らかいそのカールの印象とかってちゃんと出てるのと、まあセルフシャドウ
Yeah,
が
like
出
they
てない
smooth out the
綺麗にわかるようになり
lips.
ます
It's not huge, but it
Of
like
course,
it's
you may
enough.
notice the face paint. The war paint is a lot crisper now.
Yeah.
And then, as mentioned earlier,
Like more
self-shadow
defined
is
lines,
nicer.
yeah.
I think it's brings out the softness of her face.
まあこれがだいたい1ヶ月目だっていうのをぜひ認識しておいてください。
Again, just to remind you, this is after testing for about a month.
Yeah, it looks like way battle hardened and stuff.
はい
Like, look, you can see more like wrinkles under the
そう
eye.
よねやっぱりね。みんなのコメント見ていると。
Yeah, like this, like
looking
kind
at
of
everybody's comments,
chin
it seems
stubble.
like we are
Yeah.
on the right track in terms of like the direction we want to take it to.
そうですね。Yeah, it looked like so.
でララフェルがね一番難しい
Oh
んですよ
dear, dear, dear! They look even more demonic.
And the
Ah!
Larafel was actually quite challenging.
Oh
リア
no,
ルにす
the
るとこがな
potato!
くて
It's high definition potatoes.
There
Yikes!
no areas really to make it quote unquote realistic, you know.
まあでも髪の毛綺麗になって、目の周り
Oh
はものすご
no!
く鮮明になってまあキャラメイクしとけば、ね、
4K
もちろんい
Lalafell.
ろんなパターン作れるとは思うんです
But yeah, the eyes, like truthfully, the eyes and
But I
the
think the hair
lashes,
has definitely gotten
the
more defined,
eyelid.
and then the eyes has become
the
very
eyes, absolutely.
crisp, and it looks a
Also,
lot
the
more
ear.
alive, so to speak.
Ear has more
And
polygons.
with being able to
So you don't see like
character
the
create,
this kind of
I
like
think it'll
angle here. It
have,
looks
like, it
smoother,
will
like a
allow for
curve.
players for
There's
a
what, more
broad
triangles being
range.
used.
そうね肌の感じをどこまでその
And
なんだ
yeah,
ろう
just the
本当にツルツル
lighting.
にするの
Like
か
if you don't get it, like look at this part of
少しそうは
the
言っても
face
ちゃんと
right here,
肌っていう感
and then
じ
look
に
at
出
the
す
part
の
of
は
the face
結構
right here.
調
Like
整
it
が
just
難しいところだとは
insane.
思ってるのでただ皆
I
さんが
mean,
求め
not
て
maybe
いる
not
あの
insane.
方
It's
向性は理
it's
解しているつ
noticeable.
もりなのでしっかり種族ごとにですね調整しながらいきたいなと思ってます。
And
Like even the
it's still a
ribbon.
challenge to figure out how do we depict the surface of their skin. Like, do we make it completely like flawless, spotless, or do we actually give it some texture to make it look like skin? We want to believe that we understand what the players are looking for, but it is something that we still need to kind of explore.
This is really good.
11
This
年も皆さんと
like
一緒にこのゲーム作ってきてるんで
the approach they're taking.
皆さんが求める方向は理解してるつもりではあります。
And if anything, just like they think looks
But
good
again,
and the
we've
player
been
base that says is
with you
creepy,
guys for
they just don't
about
do.
11
Which
years
is
at this time, so we want to believe that we understand what the players are looking for.
ですいませんちょっとテスト
well, if they understand what the players are looking for, you're gonna give hats will all work, headgear will all work for bunnies.
パンフェスのタイミングとかあればまた
Do you think they show a Viera?
お知らせしていけたらなと思ってます。
Do you think we see one?
So yeah, because we are still in
Or
the
is it
early
too
stages
hard?
of testing.
Viera's too
as
hard
for
for them right now.
character samples, that is all that we have at this time.
See, nope,
We're
no
hoping that
bunny.
we can continue
No
to
bunny.
update everybody on the status. Perhaps maybe next time we can do it at like a fan festival or something like that.
じゃあ改めてですねそのキャラクターまずそのグラフィックス第一次グラフィックスアップデートでキャラクターに関する表現のアップデート項目をお知らせしておきます。
Okay, so just wanted to recap all of the different elements that we look to update for our first set of graphical updates in terms of characters.
They just
まず
show
ですね全体的にテクスチャーを
Here's
公開モード
gear.
にしていきます。
High
髪
resolution
とか肌
gear.
とかそれから今日ちょっとねご紹介できてないですけど装備品のテクスチャーの解像度も上げていきます。
So my T
So
weapon
first
won't
one
look like
would be
trash
higher
up close.
resolution textures, which includes hair, skin, and we weren't able to show any examples today, but we do want to improve the textures of the gear as well.
Yes. Yes.
でさらにですねこれはまあシェーダーと呼ばれる、処理になってくるんですけど質感の表現というのを向上させていきます。例えば肌、それから装備品の金属部分あと布って、布用のシェーダーっていうのが実はあって、Q14 では入れてたんですけど重すぎて
Will
外
fabrics
してるんですよ
actually
そ
get
ろそろ
blow
い
in
け
the
るだろう
wind?
ということで布がもう少し滑らかに
Biggest
見える
test?
っていうシェーダーなどを今、
Yeah.
研究トライしているところです。
X Death. Neo X Death's cape. X Death's cape.
And then the next item, and this is relating to various shader processing, which is improved material qualities, of course, skin, metal, and fabric. It's interesting because in the 1.0 or like the old version of Final Fantasy
it was
14,
better.
there was a shader or like a process that was just applied to fabric so that it would look the texture quality would look like fabric, but it was too heavy of a load on processing, so we had to remove it in the relaunch. But we're testing various ways to see if we can apply something like that to make fabric a bit more, well, smoother and more fabric-like. And we're still kind of researching and trying out various methods.
そしてですね、キャラクターに対してのライティングとシャドウの強化というのもやっていきます。特にね、見栄えに直結しやすいこうセルフシャドウに関してはすごく
Overall appearance of player characters will be altered as little as possible because they know they don't want to mess up.
And then again, lighting
Go
and
too far.
shadow, better lighting and shadow effects, especially for the player's shadows.
まあさっきもお話しましたけど、できるだけプレイヤーの皆さんの今のキャラクターに持ってるイメージっていうのが
It's just gonna be nice that your character won't look like a doll anymore. It's like the biggest criticism I see is that 14 characters, their faces look like dolls.
Of course, again, our goal is to make it so that the overall appearance of player characters will be altered as little as possible. We want you guys to see the graphical updates and think, oh wow, my character's become pretty.
で注意点が2つあって、
They know.
まず1つ装備品、信じられない数のアセットがあるのであれを 7.0 までに全部コンバートするのは不可能です。
So 2 points of caution. The gear, we mentioned about updating the material quality of gear, but you know, there's an incredible, unbelievable amount of gear available for all of our player characters, and considering we'd have to convert them all, we will not be able to get through converting all of the gear by the 7.0 timing.
なので 7.0 で新しく実装されている装備っていうのは全て今回のグラフィックスアップデートを経た内容で作っていきます。なのでクオリティがより高いもので全部用意するつもりです。
So any gear that is implemented from 7.0 will have gone through the process of the updated graphics.
Nice.
So of course those will be of the higher quality.
ただし、できる限りこうプレイヤーの皆さんがミラプリとかをしておしゃれによく使っているものに関してはちょっと優先的にできる限り対応をして、またパッチ 7.x シリーズで徐々にその
Oh god, yeah. 2B's outfit is probably will that be like the first one they do?
ちょっと数年がかりで全体が上がっていくことにはなるかと思いますが、よろしくお願いします。
Megatherium, yep. High-res 2B outfit.
But we understand that there are certain glamours that people use often, so we want to look at those and try to get those done with
all the casual clothes will be first.
And throughout the 7.x series is when we will address the rest of the previous equipment or gear. So I'm afraid it will take at least a few years to address all of the different textures.
あと NPC です。今回ね、プレイヤーのキャラクターみんなクオリティアップするじゃん。バーンって。NPC 全員も無理だと思っていて、7.0 までには。
The other thing are the NPCs. I know we talked about updating the player characters and the graphics on those, but I'm afraid we're not going to be able to address all of the NPCs by 7.0.
Oh, that's fine.
申し訳ないんだが、
Let's be like Final Fantasy X HD, where the main characters look really good and the NPCs look what the hell.
順番が回ってこない NPC っていうのが出てしまうと思うんですけど、ちょっとそれも許していただけると助かります。
So I'm terribly sorry to say this, but you may start seeing NPCs that have gone through the graphical updates and those that have not gone through the updates.
The memes are gonna be glorious.
Your understanding
yes.
would be appreciated.
これをね全部やれっていうと、いやもうじゃあグラフィックスアップデートやめましょう。無理ですってなっちゃうんで、ちょっと
We're literally just gonna have to have streams where we search for this. We're literally just trying to find all the NPCs who have not been
承認
updated.
していかないといつまで経ってもできないと思ってるので、ちょっと許していただけると。なのでちょっとイルベルドはまだ後でいいかみたいな。
And if I were to tell my team that, okay, we need to do everything, then people are just going to throw in the towel and be like, no, this is impossible. So I'm afraid there will be times at which not all of the NPCs will have gone through their graphical updates, and it might look a little disoriented or disjointed. But if I don't allow for that to happen, we won't be able to get to it. So again, if you could forgive us for going through that, that would be appreciated. Like, your bird might not get his graphical update as quickly as maybe like the Sultana, but
テレジアデレジはっていうお声が結構あるんです
Giving some hints there. Who's
ただ
more
ですね
important?
残念なんとテレジアデレジって
So we're all in agreement that Amaric has to be first,
な
right?
んだろうキャラメイクで作られてるんで
Like Hildebrand and Amaric,
勝手に
right?
クオリティ上がってしまう可能性が高い
If
some
Hildebrand's
people
not
are
updated
asking,
immediately,
"Oh,
I'm
but
gonna
what about
riot.
Telegy Adelegy?" And I
What?
realize his expression is part of the parts that you can select when you're creating your characters.
Wait, what happened? What I
because
missed?
we're updating the player character facial parts, Telegy Adelegy is going to have his graphical updates already. So he may be an exception to those NPCs.
まあというわけでプレイヤーベースで組まれてるものはね
What did
必
I?
然的にそうな
Am I
る
just not hearing who?
まあ
Telegy?
7も
What?
とかはねやった方がいいかなとは思ってるんですけど、ちょっとまだ精査まではしきれてないのでちょっとそういう状態が出るとは思うんですけどよろしくお願いします、
I'm so lost.
So yeah, any characters that are built based on facial parts or body parts that are available for players to utilize.
Which NPC was
will
this again?
Probably be updated simultaneously.
Oh,
with,
is
like,
that
the
the guy who
player
does that crazy
character
face
graphics.
from?
But there
Okay,
are some
yes, there
key
you go. Yep.
NPCs that
Okay.
we're
Yes.
also
Yes. Yes.
looking
Yes. Yes.
at.
Okay.
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 Maybe the
The Lalafell.
Sultana, but
Yes.
we have
The one
yet
that
to
Raban
sort of
cuts
assess,
yes. The
and
face.
we will
Okay.
continue to sort of explore the options.
Okay. I just
で
never
まあ
heard it.
ちょっと今日
It's been so long
お見
since
せ
I
した
heard it
のは
out said out loud,
繰
if
り返しにな
ever.
りますがテストをスタートしてまだ1ヶ月ちょっとのデータなので、さらなる
That face is
クオリティ
amazing,
の向上に向けて他の種族も含めて
Dude, you know what they're gonna fix?
していきます
And it's gonna
と
suck?
かもねこんな
Sorry
感
for
じになるの
Shadowbringer
で
spoilers.
お見せできればと思ってます
But yeah, again, what we
The
showed
face.
you was only about a month or so.
Maybe I won't
of
say the character
testing,
name. Starts with a T.
We're hoping to
Her
provide you with
face.
more updates as they come in. Perhaps the other races. Perhaps we can
The
provide
the
you an update
the
with
freaky
gear,
face.
etc. In
That's gonna be
the
high
not so far future.
definition. White
で
face.
そう
Oh, I gotta go revisit
あ
that.
の結構コメントであったんですけど装備の
Man, this is an
干渉
excuse to have to replay the whole game
あれは
again.
正
Damn
直
it.
どうにもならないです物理エンジンを
Chat, we're
入
gonna
れ
have to
て
do a replay of
計算で
all
かわすしかないん
14
ですけど
again.
それをやるとやっぱ動かなくなっちゃう
Multiple
と思うので
playthroughs are
あとやっぱり
coming.
装備の干渉を許可してる僕が、もういいとこれ割り切ってくれって言ってるから今のペースでそのアセットギアが報酬が装備がリリースできてるっていうところもあるので努力はしますが根本的にオフラインのゲームのようにはならないので、はい、そこ
All
はすい
right,
ま
they
せんご了
got
承ください
40 more minutes for this segment. The
And I'm also seeing comments about can you do something about like gear or equipment or like player characters like body parts interfering with the
Clipping.
graphics of
clipping.
gear equipped gear.
Dark Knight.
And
Clipping.
I'm afraid that is something that we cannot address.
Sorry.
Fully. We would have to put in a physics engine in there, and that would cause for some of the characters to kind of not move properly anymore. And plus, I, as the director,
No physics
have
engine.
allowed for those imperfections to my team. I'm afraid we're just moving on with it, or else we won't be able to keep the pace in releasing these different gear and different designs that is available. So I'm afraid we are unable to address it fully to match something that of a like a standalone game. Sorry.
さあでは次はですねちょっと BG マップに関わるところも
Oh, here we
テス
go,
ト
here we
1ヶ月ちょっとのサンプル持ってきました
All right, so this is Charlian.
Okay,
Old
we
Charlian.
have more samples though. This time it's for various
This is the like
backgrounds and
crafter
like map
gatherer
elements.
area.
まずこれは単純に、テクスチャーとかに何も手を入れずに配置できるライトの数を増や
Is
す
it
っていう
Studium?
テスト
Studium, yeah.
のサンプルです。ほうほう
So this first image is a test of just simply the number of lights we can place in a certain scene without it touching any of the textures or surfaces.
Okay.
配置ライト数をですね複数増やすとこんな感じになります。
So we just added a few more lights in a particular scene, and
Looks better.
What you see is in the right side.
Surfaces look a little bit more reflective.
ライトがですね、遠くに
Like
左側に
especially here.
一等しか
Look at
描けないので
this area right
ちょっと見てほ
here.
しいのは手前
And then
側
look
に
at
あ
it
る
right
デ
here.
ス
Like
ク
look how much better that is.
に
Like
影
the
がほぼ
light
落ちて
coming
ないの
from
が
that.
右側複数ライトによってちゃんと影が出るようになって
Like at this, like look this whole stretch of the
So if you
wall.
look
Look
at the
how
one on the
improved
left,
that is.
we were only able to place one light source in the scene, but in the picture on the right, we were able to place multiple lights to give it a more realistic look. And as you can see, the desk is now casting a shadow.
まあ当然分かりやすく上の方にライトさらに1灯追加されてるので、まああそこまで作り込んで
Yeah, look at the shadow from the table. Non-existent here. It's like look how flat it is. And then look at this. Like the light source is coming from here and hitting it, so it's striking the shadow at this angle.
雰囲気が変わるのでこれによって
It's casting the shadow at this angle.
And of course, I think one of the key changes that you can see is because we were able to place a light directly on top, you're able to see some of the details that would have been kind of hidden behind a shadow. And so I think with allowing
Ray
for
tracing.
more lights to be placed, it will
tracing.
kind of give you a
RTX
better
on.
impression of some of the atmosphere and some of these locations.
でさらにですね、
Ooh.
こちら今の現
So,
在の状態の
Titania.
ですね。
Next, you see Titania in their current state.
でこれはシャドウです。シャドウのテストを
Yeah, let's look at the shadows. They're kind of like
So this is where we
pixelated.
tested out how shadows appear.
まあ影に使ってるテクスチャー
Oh
の
my.
解像度と計算を上げていくので、これぐらい
Okay.
くっきり見えていく。
Someone turned on like the Christmas lights. Someone
So
flipped
this
on
is
the
where we
Christmas light.
tested,
The Christmas switch.
picture as well as the calculation formula behind how we're displaying the shadow underneath Titania.
Yeah, look at the light coming
And
through the
we believe that
windows
we were
now.
able to improve the quality and the resolution.
And just her
up
her
to
shadow like
what you
look
see
at the
on the right
tree.
image.
さらにですね、これ複数
Like
ライ
the
トの
shadow
ポイント見て
quality
い
of
る
that
の
tree
で
is so much better too.
今の14だと左の環境しか作れないんですけど、複数ライトさらにカラー変えたりしていくことで
Like you can see the color of her wings. Look at that. Like how it's different color here, but you don't even see it there. That's like purple pink.
And as you
But
can
there
see,
you can.
we have multiple lights again in this updated picture, and then plus we put some colored lighting.
Wait, are they gonna add
the
better lighting, that
background
player
is
housing?
Exactly the same, and it was actually quite intricately built, but by having these different sort of lighting available to shine on it, you can see the complex details that was part of the structure.
ちなみにこれ左のティタニアのストーリー的には左の雰囲気がいいなって言ってるコメントがあるんですけど、
はい
実はこの状態をさらにグレードアップさせた
Like even the background, like the steps back there, just like it looks so dark here. And now it's like
ライトの色を赤とかにして複数ライトが混ざってるっていう環境を作ってくれって言って僕がわざわざデザイナーがセンスよく統一してきたものを
yeah, this feels like you're fighting in a room where the light is only coming from outside and it's like early in the day or late at like dusk or dawn. This feels like there's actual lighting in the
One thing I do
building
wanna
right now.
clarify, because somebody pointed out they liked the look of the original Titania, where it has that sort of mood with all the muted
Oh,
colors.
the muted colors. Yeah, I was about to say.
I want to point out that this is the developers actually brought to me an example of what improved graphics would look like with that stayed within the color palette of the original picture, but that's very
Yeah,
much
because
in
this
the
is totally
developer's
changing the
perspective,
fight.
and I wouldn't
Like the
be-
atmosphere. I
wouldn't
was gonna bring
be
that
able
up
to
before
tell
they
the
actually said
difference of what has improved. That's why I had requested my designer to intentionally place red lights, something that's more obvious, just to show an example.
So
So,
it's a
don't
red
worry, this
light.
is not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to like destroy the atmosphere. The designer was very mindful about keeping the tone of the story, but I
That's
wanted
fair.
a
Yeah.
more like overt example. So
Okay.
just wanted to clarify that.
でここでちょっとね特に注目してほしいのが画面右の奥、上の方に見えてる
Another X shows up.
のあたりをちょっと見ていただきたいんですけど
And one part that I do want to point out, if you look at the upper part of the image, where the stained glass is,
Yeah.
これ左と右マップのポリゴンは何も変わらないんですね。テクスチャー解像度も変わってないです。
So just reiterating that we have not changed any of the polygons that are in the map layout. We did not improve any of the textures here.
なのでライトを
It's just
変え
simply
る
lighting.
複数置けるようになるだけで、実は BG アーティストたちがこだわって作っていた箇所っていうのがより明確にちゃんと見えるようになるんですよ。左は全部影で潰れてるんですけど、もともとちゃんと凹凸あるんですね。
And so this is what I'm trying to show with this image is that by being able to place multiple lights in a scene, we are able to showcase the details that our
Is this kind of
background
like
artists have put
a
into
dev diary?
the structure. So above these stained glass, you might see these sort of like tiered sort of molding on top, and
Like teaching you how to do lighting for 3D models.
Unnoticeable because it's kind of drowned in the shadows. So by being able to
it's
place
like a
multiple
GDC
lights,
panel.
we're able to accentuate those details that our background team
Hey, we're
has
almost to
put
GDC
into
time,
the
so
structure.
ちなみにバックグラウンドアーティストたちはライトの追加をやっていこうって言ったらめっちゃ喜んでました。
So when we were talking about adding multiple lights, the background team definitely had a very strong reaction to that.
よかった。
さあで次はですね、こちらは金属表現を、
the important content time. Here we go, important content.
So next sample we want to show you is how we depict like the texture of the metal.
Oh yeah, they're mentioning this. I was kind of confused what they meant.
悪趣味なぐらい変えてくれって言ってるので、それをご承知おきください。
Break them,
And of course,
create
this
the
again is
metal.
supposed to be an example, and so I asked my designer to make it very gaudy at this point.
All
So
right.
please understand it is not necessarily the designer's choice.
もともとやりたかったけど、シェーダーが
That is some
これぐらいゴールドをちゃんと
gold.
やっていきますよ。
I love gold.
So up until now, we didn't have the proper shaders to apply, but we would love to improve the look of metallic surfaces. For example, gold here.
すごいですよね。
コメントで吉田の家じゃんって書いてある。
Make it
俺
rain.
仕事してないわ。
People are saying, "Oh, is this Yoshida's house?" I was like,
Wait,
"No, if I
what?
was that rich, I wouldn't be working."
怖いので今まで我々が左を金だと信じてまいりましたけど、なんかもうブラ
I
スに
was
し
that
か見え
rich. I
ない
wouldn't be working.
Yeah, actually we trusted left side screen is gold up until now, but now it only see brass.
Oh yeah, gold saucers gonna look so much better.
まあこういう形で金属の質感強化っていうのもやっていきます。
Yoshi P said he was only gonna quit this game if he died. The CEO tried to fire him, in which
Thank
he'd
you for
fight
that.
back.
But, yeah, again,
Or
we're
what was the
trying
other thing?
to
Like the
make
game like
improvements
just
to the
failed.
material qualities
But there's a
and the
fourth
look
thing.
of,
If he just became
metallic
super rich, he'd
surfaces
quit.
as well.
さらにですね、続いてはマップに使える
Oh, the Xenoblade
メモリっていうのも、上限を上げてあげようと思っているので、それによってですね、より多くのオブジェクトが配置できるようになっていきます。
Let me go to the
Next
Xenoblade
was
rock.
to look at the memory resources allocated to rendering a particular area on a map, and I'm looking to raise that sort of cap so that we can place
Oh.
more objects in a particular field.
まあこれ左側が現在
Ooh.
よくちょっと、
Hmm.
マトシャと出会ったりするところですけど、
So things won't look so
こんな感じになってます。
spacious and
現在
empty.
ですね。
So
Let's
the
see it.
left side, you may remember your first encounter with Matsuya.
でそれがですね、今回このぐらいまでいけるだろう
Holy
と。
crap.
And with testing, we are seeing that we could possibly place more objects like these.
左と比べてですね、やっぱりまず注目点としてはその1枚のループで作られてたその階段状になってる部分っていうのが、
That definitely
それぞれ
changes
素材違いをしかもこう組み合
The
わせで
steps are definitely different. I think they're just doing this for effect because tonally that's completely different
この
now.
あたりはね実はすごく大きいと思います。
And so in the left, you may notice that it's just a repeat layered on.
That is very true.
Repeat layered on top
Copy
of each
paste.
other. But in the updated graphics, you can see that we are able to place
All right,
objects not exactly
hear me out.
like on top of each other, but like you can shift it by a little bit. It'll allow for a more realistic depiction of the area has been in use. So this is actually quite
That's nice.
It helps with like the immersion.
Yes, it
であ
does.
とはその
I want to know if I can break
床
barrels.
ですね実は床の上に
Let me
もう
break
一枚
barrels.
テクスチャーを重ねてブレンドさせることでですね、床のこうひび割れだったり、細かい今だとねメモリがないので巨大な床を1枚貼ってどうにかところなんですけど、そこをさらにこうスカンマ上げていけるようになる。
This
And
could
then
mean
the
harder
floor
jump
or the
puzzles.
ground, with the graphical
Like even look at
update,
the
we'll be
rock
able
area right
to,
here, how plain this
add
is, and then they
another
actually
layer on
look at
top
that.
to give
And
it
then
more
blades of
texture,
grass.
and
Look at
kind of
that.
blend it in. So like cracks in the ground.
Yeah.
Previously, we wouldn't have enough memory, so we would just have to paste one giant floor and deal with it. But with the graphical updates, I think we'll be able to improve on the texture quality as well.
そしてですね、続いてからちょっと BG でお知らせする最後になるんですが、
Yeah, like they
Next
added like
is, I believe,
plants
the
back
last set
here.
of samples that I've
That,
seen for the background elements.
こちらです。我々開発
Oh,
陣の最大の
yes.
敵、自動草って呼んでるやつ。
Oh, Elpis, let's do it. I thought
So
Elpis
this
looked
is,
amazing.
one of our pet peeves, arch nemesis, I should say. These are like these automatically generated grass.
Still looks pretty
これが
good,
ですね、
like zoomed
カット
out.
シーンのチェックをやってるとですね、割り込んでくるんですよ。自動
Oh
で
my
生
God.
やされるんで。多分カットシ
You're
ー
gonna
ン
have to
作っ
hold
た
me,
スタッ
chat.
フの時
This is
に
gonna
入
be
ってなかったんでしょうけ
amazing.
ど、
はは
僕がチェックする時
'Cause I think it
入って
looks
ですね
pretty good
この
from a
ジャリジャリが
distance.
すごい入ってくるんですよ、カメラに。
Like that looks good over here to me.
And this is so it takes away from cutscenes when it barges in. I'm sure when the cutscene team is creating the composition, they don't see the grass because this is just automatically generated after the fact. But sometimes it's like so close up and it's so pixelated, and that pixelation it bothered me very much.
Yoshi was
今回の
bothered.
実はちょっと裏話ですけど、
はい
Dude, new Elpis. Here we
まあ
go.
エルピスで
Elpis is like the best looking zone in the game.
ヘルメスにね、メーティオンにせがまれてエルピスの花をこう見せる
はいはいはい
シーン、夜空でねあるじゃない。でヘルメスがこう仮面を外す、あそこがですね、何度チェックしてて
They're
も自動で入って
really
くるんですよ。で
the build up
あ
to this is intense.
BG 班に頼んでこの辺もう草生やさない設定にしてくれって。
あ、なるほど。除草剤を撒いてしまったんですね。
So one behind the scenes comment I wanted to make when I was looking at the cutscene in Elpis. Sorry, spoilers, but
Sorry,
Hermes,
spoilers.
when he's talking to Meteon about, oh, I want to show you the flowers in Elpis, and he
Yep.
removes his mask, the grass automatically generates, and it gets in the way. So I got so mad. I told the background team, like, can you make it so that you don't have grass being generated in this part of the ground?
でそれがですね、今まだテスト中ですがこんな感じになります。はい。
They look like blades of
But
grass.
that will be updated hopefully. Again, we're still testing, but
It
this
looks
is a
like
sample
grass.
image of what it could look like.
でまあ種類もね複数持てるようになるの
I
で、
see flowers.
これね草原から上は何も手入れてないんですよ。向こうに見える木とか全く今のままなんですけど、まあこんな
Better hurry up and get those new graphics cards. Better secure those new
And
GPUs.
plus, we are able to generate a variation of different grass or plants, and so while we haven't added or modified anything in the background, like the trees and the field in the background have not been modified, the look of it is different because of how we can process these automated grass.
これはですね、自動草そのものを入れ替えるので、申請から行月まで全ての
Get those SSDs and
自動で
those
入
new
る草がきれ
CPUs.
いになります。
And for this update, we will be replacing the system that generates these grass or plant life.
I'm really excited to
so
see
this
the Black
should be
Shroud
applied
after this.
throughout all of the areas from A Realm Reborn.
Oh
throughout
yes.
Endwalker.
Oh, Black Shroud all
さ
day.
あではバック
I'm
グ
going
ラ
to
ウンド
Black
実は
Shroud
ねまだあるん
immediately.
ですけど、ちょっとどんな
Give me that
表現
nighttime
バックグラウン
lightning
ドを
Black
上げていく
Shroud.
かというのをお知らせしておきます。
We've done various other testings in terms of background elements, but allow me to summarize again.
まず先ほど、サンプルでも見ていただきましたライト配置数の追加、質感、凹凸表現ね、雰囲気の強化という
Maybe I
の
was
が
wrong. Maybe they're not going to keep
えー
supporting PS4 for the next 5 years.
So again, we are going to be doing additional lighting points, so improved visual quality, depth, and immersion.
I will be kind
そ
of
して
shocked
で
if
すね
they don't mention the
影の高解
Xbox
像度化
version in this
影のテクスチャーを
presentation.
高解像度にすることでですね、ちらつかなくなったりですね、影がよりメリハリが効くようになります。
And then higher
Yes,
resolution
decrease flickering
shadows,
effects. Thank
And so
you.
we'd be improving the texture of the shadow and how it's depicted so that it will allow for like flickering, decreased flickering.
ちょっと嘆きの海のマップを思い出していただきたいんですけど、あそこ実は雰囲気を宇宙空間にするために、ライトの距離をすごい遠くして、
Because some part of the thing that can alleviate them moving on from PS4, if they want to do it sooner,
そうすると影が
is if they have
もの
Xbox
すごく長く取りされる
support.
んだけど
Because then you just need a
テクスチャー
PS5,
解像度が
Xbox Series S or
すごい
X,
じらついたり
or a
ボケたりする
PC.
箇所が結構多いんですよ。ただ雰囲気を優先したんで我慢してたんですけど、そういうところもですね、より綺麗にちらつかずに影が出てくるようになると思います。
So if you would recall Mare Lamentorium and how
Yeah.
we were trying to depict or make it seem like you're in outer space and make sure
Yeah.
that the
Those
lighting
shadows were
happened
really
placed
bad
in a
there.
very distant location.
They were very
so
bad.
that we emphasize that sort of darkness that surrounds you. Because of that, whenever you're on the moon, your shadow gets to be very long, but because the shadow textures were not optimal, you would see frequent areas that would cause the shadows to flicker or
Yep.
it could get blurry. So
Yep,
with the
I
graphical update, we're hoping
did
to improve
close-ups of
so
that.
that those shadows would come out a lot crisper.
Nice.
そして質感表現の向上です。これもシェーダーでですね。
That also helped the
とか
final zone as well.
まあそれ以外のちょっとシェーダーも今検討してます。
Conceptually, the final zone is
And then,
mind
of course,
blowing.
Improved textures, which includes
But it needs a-
metals, fabrics.
it needs
and
a lot of
we're also
touch-up,
trying to
technically.
consider what other elements can we improve.
そして最後にご覧いただいた自動配置植物の強化、高解像度にしたり、
Fog?
植生をね、種類を増やしたりしていきます。
Upgrades will be tuned to the maximum extent that performance allows.
Auto-generated greenery, which
Auto-generated
is increased resolution,
fog.
variety, and etc.
で画面全体にフィルター効果として非常
That's
に重
Dawn
要
bait.
なアンビエントオクルージョンっていう機能だったり、フォグ、いわゆる霧をこう重ねるみたいな、それをフォグって呼ぶんですけど、これらに関しては今テストをしてるんですけど、まだちょっとサンプルをお見せできない状態です。
And we're also considering other effects or filters that would apply to the
Maybe better
overall
rain?
screen, including ambient occlusion and fog effects.
They said ambient
now, those are
occlusion.
still being tested, but we couldn't produce results that we can present at this time.
めちゃくちゃ雰囲気出るし、めちゃくちゃクオリティ上がるんですけど、やっぱ画面全体に パフォーマンスの影響を与えるものなので慎重にテストをしてしっかりこれだったら大丈夫だろう。
I don't have much time, so I think this is either the end or they're really behind.
あとオプションでねちょっと切ることで軽くできるとかっていうのをちゃんと用意した上でここまで
Or maybe they don't have that much left to talk about. Maybe they are on
ちょっと
time.
1ヶ月じゃそこまではいけないので、ただこれらも強化はしていきますので、また続報をねお待ちいただければと思います。
And we totally understand that it will give it a different sense of.
There are definitely some things they haven't talked about that I kind of wanted to hear about.
Had those kinds of
example
applied or those filters applied.
Guaranteeing
But it does affect the overall performance of the game. So we will need to test it very carefully for sure. So we want to explore our options.
Gotta be careful
but we
that
also
fog.
want to make sure that we are at a state where we're comfortable and not requiring for so much resources that players would have to.
I don't know if I'm going to do the Q&A part though.
To an extreme, or be able to provide an option to shut it off if you want to optimize your performance. So I'm afraid we're not able to show you anything as of like a month or so of testing, but we're hoping to bring you updates further down the line. So yeah, if you could please stay tuned for that.
I'm surprised they're not talking about additional voice work. 24-person raids, the normal raids, like the and trials should all have VO.
Graphical updates and the preparations that we're making for it, I think is all that I have for today's presentation.
Oh wow, that is it.
さあでは続いて、3つ目なんですが、引き続き多くのアップデートこれまでと変わらずですね、適切なスケジュールでお届けしていきますよというお話です。
So yeah, we will continue to provide regular updates on an appropriate schedule.
Oh yeah, this is the content schedule part.
せっかくの機会ということでですね、ちょっと 6.1 から 6.5 まで現状決まっているものでお知らせできそうなものをお知らせしておこうと思います。
So I would like to share information that we know that we're going to have from 6.1 through 6.5.
Okay.
まずパッチ 6.1 なんですけど、こちらねリリースタイミングが読み切れないと思うんですけど皆さん4月に出します。はい。
Grand Endeavor.
So 6.1
yes.
series. I understand that it's still kind of hard to see when it's coming, but we are looking at April at this time.
Somehow April 6.1. Yeah. Somehow Further Hildebrand Adventures is perfection. Perfection.
Of course, part of those updates will include the updates to the.
That was the hardcore raiders behind me sounding the alarms that this is all casual content right now. They're talking too much about casual content, no raid content.
事件や紳士ね、ついに帰還でございます。ヒルディブランドの行月編が、始まります。
Of course, we've heard many people ask for him to come back.
Yes.
This gentleman extraordinaire, Mr. Hildebrand, will be making his return.
I'm sad he was not in the Endwalker ending.
新しいサブクエストシリーズとしてですね、タタルの大繁盛商店というのが、連続として始まります。
And then, of course, a new series of side quests named Tataru's Grand Endeavor.
ちなみにヒルディブランドが最後に目撃されたのはパッチ 5.3 で実装された漆黒決戦ノルブランドでエリディブスによって召喚された中に確率でたまに出てくるんでね、あいつID の中に、あそこですね、最後に目撃されてるのが。
I believe the last time Hildebrand was seen was in patch 5.3, the Hero's Gauntlet, and this is a random occurrence, so you may or may not have seen him. But when you are doing your Warrior of Light battle, he is one of the people that is summoned.
さあ、どんな冒険とかね、珍道中になるのか、ぜひ楽しみにお待ちください。
But yeah, we hope you enjoy whatever odd adventures that he gets into.
どんどんいきます。パッチ 6.1 まだまだあってですね、アライアンスレイド、ミソロジーオブ
Wait, it's called Crystalline Conflict? I thought it was called Crystal Conflict. They changed the
beginning
name.
With patch 6.1 updates,
still
we
CC.
will have our Alliance raid, Myths of the Realm.
Wait, Ultima's
part one,
Bane?
Implemented. This is
Ultima
going to,
Unreal?
delve into or touch upon
Ultima?
the mythos of the 12 gods.
そして新 PVP のクリスタルコンフリクトというのが、
Ultima
スタートして万族クエストあるかそうだら
Ultima is gonna be so annoying because of the orbs. You have to do the orbs correctly, synced.
And so next
my God.
is
I'm not looking forward to that one.
PvP, the Crystalline Conflict. We will have a new Beast Tribe quest, or like a new tribal quest, Arkasodara tribe quest in their dailies, and then a new
Pixelated,
ultimate
yes.
content. Thank you so much for your patience.
It's the 12.
Our new ultimate duty will be implemented as of 6.1.
Dragon Songs Reprise? Wait a second, they changed... So it's called Dragon Songs Reprise. I just realized that. It's not Dragon Song War.
And of course, we will finally be reopening the Unreal battles. Ultima's Bane will be what's coming for the next battle. We are currently testing this out, but it's quite challenging.
Yes, because the orbs. Party Finder's gonna suck at that. Oh no. People don't know the nobody. So many people don't know the mechanics of that fight because you don't have to do it.
やっぱ面白いしやりごたえあるなこれって感じでした。
Of course, when we first designed the Ultima weapon fight, it was done in a rush, and then by now, I think people have raised their item level. So even if you take damage, it's not as bad. But with the Unreal battles, we have adjusted the boss fight so that it matches that of a level 90 player. So
that's
and
still
kind of finalized the item level. So testing it out,
should have been I-70.
It was a very interesting battle. And
should have been
very
I-70.
Challenging for sure.
I-90 is not as hard. I-70 was what you didn't even have to be an I-70 gear to do it. I think it was I-67 or I-55. So that's not. Well, the problem is no one knows how to do the orbs correctly. So
there was a comment about the Beast Tribe quest, and it seems
doing it unsynced, people still wipe to
not
the
be
orbs.
very favorable
If you
to
see
call
them,
it that.
it's hilarious.
I know we're trying to shift it to say tribe quests, or like we're just calling it by the tribal name in the English, but we are going to try to figure out a better way to phrase it.
Okay.
そして絶なんですけど、
はい。
まあめっちゃ調整続いてるんですけど、多分一番難しいと思うんで、やる方は覚悟をしておいてください。
And I'm most
And I
interested
want
in
to
this
backtrack a little bit
and the
to
new PvP changes.
Ultimate duty, the new ultimate duty.
Delay,
We're,
delay.
balancing right now and making adjustments.
Delay.
It's quite difficult. So
okay.
If you're up for a challenge, that's fantastic. But yeah, it's going to take some. It's going to again be challenging.
Yeah. I kind of just guessed that
Ultimate would be not 6.1 but 6.11, so it might it's
2 weeks
probably
after.
not at the same time as the major patch.
Yes. I think a lot of people are expecting this to be the hardest fight, not just in the game, but like when content relevant, this will be the hardest fight ever.
We are
because it's taking so long.
Enjoy the main scenario
I think they're
then,
overtuning it to be ridiculous.
Is also when we open up the Ishgard housing, so I'm sure people will.
There
want
we
to sign
go,
up for, like,
Ishgard housing.
Housing plots. So we're going to
get ready.
Wait 2 weeks after the launch of the major patch, and then release the ultimate duty.
Is PvP coming out right away?
まあさっきお伝えしたメインクエスト ID のフェイス対応 2.0 範囲やって、それ以外のID も
Oh yeah, they're doing this.
いろいろやってます。
But PvP is having this, I thought.
So continuing on with the 6.1 series updates.
Forgot about that.
The main quest, the trust system for A Realm Reborn patch 2.0 main scenario dungeons.
そして新しいリワードシステムとしてですね、キャラクターカードっていうのの、システム実装が、ドーンと始ま
I'd
り
love
ます。
us for FC to move to Ishgard because it'd
And
be
then
cold
a
snow.
new calling card style UI. So this is going to be a new reward type system that we plan to start implementing.
まあこの
They
辺の
talked
詳しい
about the
内容は
calling
ね
card with
3
the
月
PvP
4
changes
日からの
coming in
また
6.1.
パッチ 6.1 特集パート1パート2の方でお伝えしていきます。そしてお待たせしたロスガルの、新髪型対応がスタートとなります。
So for this calling card style UI, this is something that we'll cover in our next two live letters. There's one definitely planned on March the 4th, and we'll do like a 6.1 feature, part 1 and part 2. So we'll delve into details at that time. So next item would be new hairstyles for Hrothgar. Thank you so much for your patience on this.
Oh, new trials and other assorted updates is what it says. Megatherium.
福井様取引はなんとアルフィノ・アリゼのお母様であるアメリアンス編となります。
The next two items is the opening of Imperium or Ishgard housing.
So are you ready? Are you excited to do?
You get to meet with Alphino and
the mom,
Alize's mom,
mommy,
Amelians.
Custom deliveries with the mom.
新 PVP はいつですか。まあまた
You said PVP.
詳しく言いますけど、6.15 を
Say more PvP.
はい。
What do you got?
We had a question about when is the new PvP
Yes.
going to go live.
Yes.
Again, we'll cover this in the upcoming other.
Can you say it's
channels,
at
but
launch or
we are
not?
looking at 6.15 timing for that.
Thank you.
まあそれ以
Thank
外にもですね
you.
透滅点など
Thank
多数
you.
のものが
Thank you so
透滅点の名前
much.
言えない
That
んですけ
is
ど
a
あり
good
ます
call.
ぜひご期待
Thank
ください。
you.
ここまでがまあ 6.1
Will not conflict with
ざっ
Ultimate. Thank you so
And of
much.
course, new
Thank you.
trials, we can't say what, but other
I mean, the new trial is Endsinger Ultimate or EX.
そして続いて 6.2 ですがこんな感じになってて、まあ、一番の注目はやっぱりお知らせしていた、無人島開拓が 6.2 からスタートになります。
So next up
Wait.
is the
Oh, this is the
6.2
deep dungeon.
series. This is one of the large, like the anticipated content, I believe, is the Island Sanctuary. That's when we're going to
Okay,
start opening this up.
6.2. Nice.
昨日全体を一通りチェッ
New
クしました
weapon
ね。めちゃく
enhancements.
ちゃ
Is
で
this
かい
the
んで
relic?
だいぶね組み上がってるんでもう
I had the opportunity to check the overall sort of content yesterday, and it's quite large scale, but I think it's coming along nicely.
Heck yeah.
またちょっと今日は時間がないのであれですけど、詳しく説明する機会は取ろうと思いますが、基本的には外の世界と全く異なるそこだけで完結できる遊びになってますし、まあゆっくり本当にゆるくやれるので楽しみに待っていただけると嬉しいです。
So I'm afraid we don't have the time to cover it today, but we will take the time at another opportunity so that we can explain the details of this. But it is going to be a different sort of area that you can enjoy, and it's a very self-contained sort of content that you can enjoy.
でまあ2.x 残り新生オルゼアの 2.x シリーズのメインクエスト ID を全部対応し、想定編にも突入します。あとは武器強化コンテンツの新しいシリーズをスタートしますとかですね。
So going back to the earlier bullet points, we will be applying the trust system for the 2.x main scenario dungeons, maybe partially into Heaven's Word. It says here.
ああそうだもうね多すぎて入れてないんですけど、ミラプリの拡張もね 6.1 から第1弾始まるんで言っときます。
Yeah, 6.2 is not coming to like
We
August.
also want to mention we will be expanding on glamours. Glamour ミラプリのごめんなさい、ミラプリはグラマープリズムの方でしょうか。
ね
言えない感じですか。
第1弾はプレート増やすをやっていくまず。
Said glamour. Hold.
So glamour related updates. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure how to phrase it, so I squeezed it out of Yoshida-san. We will be addressing and expanding upon glamour plates as part of the first glamour related updates in 6.1 series.
まあちょっと全部書ききれないけど、いつもの討伐透滅戦のノーマルと極があるとかいうのは、まあいつも通りやっていくので、まあその辺は
Glamour plate updates. Let's do it.
助かります。
And of course, we will have whatever content that you can expect in a patch update, so like new trials, etc. It's not written here because
I
we
love
couldn't
how
fit it
like yeah,
all in the slides.
Savage,
Yes.
like all the other
Yes, yes,
content,
yes,
EX
correct.
Primal. This is
Those
like extra
Those
stuff.
content
This
is-
isn't the main stuff. This is the meat and potatoes now.
And we're also looking at like how to expand upon like the number of sets stored. So we're hoping to find an opportunity to do that update, like not an overhaul, but like an update on that as well.
そしてですね、さりげなく書かれている新しいこの6.2から新しいバトルコンテンツ、タイプが全くこれまでと違うコンテンツを今開発中です。
And then the fourth bullet point, it's just kind of snuck in there as part of like the updates, but it's a new thing that we're trying to do.
Deep dungeon.
It's
right?
a dungeon with variable difficulty.
Oh wait, variable. Wait,
ダン
wait,
ジョン
wait.
って今開発コードネームなんですけど、1人から4人でチャレンジできて、
Wait, this is
1人
not
で
quite
行く、2
deep
人で
dungeon.
行
What
く、
is
3
this?
人で行く、4人で行くっていうので、自動的にそれに合わせて難易度がコントロールされるっていうチャレンジ型のコンテンツになります。
And so the code name that we're using here is like Criterion Dungeons, but so you can attempt this with 1 to 4 people. And what makes it variable is that if you go in, depending on the number of people you go in with, so 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, the difficulty sort of varies. It will automatically scale. So it's like a content where players can sort of challenge themselves.
Cool.
まあこちらも組み上がってはきてるんですけど、まだ調整いろいろチェックやってたりするんで、まあ6点に近づいてきたらしっかり特集していきたいと思います。
It is coming along nicely, but and we're still performing checks on the content. So please stay tuned for new information as they become available when we can talk about 6.2.
そして6.3になるとですね、
Oh, there's Deep Dungeon. They're also doing Deep Dungeon. Wait, Ultimate 5? Did you say Ultimate number 5?
And then
Wait a
moving
second.
into 6.3.
Ultimate
So,
Duty
we
number
continue
5?
To add more
Uh-oh.
trust NPCs. We should be able to address
All right.
the remaining
Number
main
5.
scenario instanced dungeons.
Ultimate- another
in
ultimate.
Heavenward.
で彼らはですね、世界中からですね、ディープダンジョンシリーズの新しいのがやりたいというお声をたくさん頂戴していたので、
Oh, man, what is it gonna be at that point?
最中です。6.3 で、ディープダンジョンシリーズ
Will they do Warring Triad or will they move to Stormblood content?
And then players from around the world had asked about when do we get a new Deep Dungeon?
Deep Dungeon,
And
yeah.
so we are in the planning phases at this time. We're hoping to launch the 3rd in the series of Deep Dungeons at 6.3 series timing.
そしてですね、すでに、開発スタートして進んでるんですが、Z シリーズの第2の、6.3でリリース予定です。
And then we are already starting to make plans for this, but
Bets.
we
Will
do
Ultimate
intend
Duty
on
5
adding one more
be...
Ultimate Duty, so this will be the 5th one in the series.
Okay, but they said one more, so
そ
there's
して
not
ですね、
going to be
6.2
another.
でリリースされた
for this
無人島
expansion.
開拓のアップデートももちろん
All right,
行っていきます
Bet. Use your
And of
werehogs.
course,
Is it going to
because
hit
we will
6.3
be
or will it
opening
be
up
delayed?
the Island Sanctuary as of 6.2. At 6.3 series timing, we will continue to update it.
で
Ultimate.
まあ4と5はちょっとパッチ 6.4 と5はまとめてのご紹介になっちゃいますが、この4と5でグレン編のメインクエスト ID のフェイス対応を全部終わらせて、まあこれで、ストーリー上に登場する ID は、全部対応が終わる予定です。
Oh, so Criterion dungeons are
And
unique.
then
I thought it was a
next,
difficulty
next
setting for
page covers
existing
both
dungeons.
6.4
Okay.
and 6.5 series, but by this time we aim to complete the trust system implementation into all of the Stormblood
Fox
main
Hollows
series
is
scenario
Unreal
main scenario
fights.
dungeon
It's older
series. And
fights
so that should get
tuned to
through
the
all of
current level.
Stormblood.
So like they take a Realm
Yeah,
Reborn
no,
fights
Hidden
and they
Dungeon
made them level 80 in Shadowbringers. So no new mechanics. mechanics. They just tune them to be, yeah. But they're not as hard even as when they, like, they're not even as hard as when they originally came out. They're just, you have to do the mechanics. You have to do the fight. You have to know how to do the fight. It's not a cakewalk. None of them were actually that hard.
An update. We should have
and Ultima is not going to be that hard, honestly. It's just, there'd be a lot of dumb memes
at this time we want
from orbs.
to expand upon the area, so we'll have an additional area.
I think it would be smart to hold that third ultimate until 6.5, or the fifth ultimate, sorry. They should save that ultimate for 6.5. Absolutely, they should. 6.3 seems too aggressive. It's such, ultimate's such a good, the new ultimate's such a good thing for 6.5. No. It's good for everyone because it's just more content. More people will be into doing it because people will be done with most of the game, the expansion.
When is the next
so,
time the Blue Mage is going to have
oh yeah, where's
their
Blue
level
Mage?
cap increased?
Yo.
And
say it's becoming a
some
normal
of these
job.
items, we need to monitor the situation, and so I'm afraid we aren't able to determine exactly when this is going to happen. But we do intend on doing it.
Okay.
We will share more information when we are going to do like a patch specific like updates live stream. Please note that even if it's not written in the document, it doesn't mean that we're not going to do it.
So probably 6.3 or later.
Yeah, there might be
probably
information
6.3
that
or
we're still in the
6.5.
planning phases, and we weren't able to solidify at this time. So we will continue to look at the various existing content and, and provide updates when we can.
Will they do another type of DR Savage or Baldesion Arsenal this time? Like, they, obviously they didn't say, but I hope they do. I don't think we're ever getting another limited job.
The comments are talking about various granular areas of patch updates.
You're not getting another limited job.
It's safe to say
that would not be a good idea.
Things that people we know people are expecting in a regular update.
I don't think they're ever going to add another tank or healer.
Included.
I think they need to add one more physical range and one more caster.
Yeah, don't
and I think they just turn blue into caster. Like, make blue, convert blue at some expansion to a normal job. I think it becoming a traditional job would be like a good addition for 7.0, and you got another physical range, and you can make Beastmaster a physical range because like you command your beasts from afar.
Is I'm sure a mystery, but we have a plan. We do have like which group to focus in on, and we do want to have content available per each of the patch. So
I don't think they can add another melee class.
Wait, or so not wait, but like
they didn't talk about level cap stuff. They didn't talk about the time skip. Like they're saving that for closer to the expansion then, huh?
あとゴールドソーサーも予定してるんですけど、4になるか5になるかまだ決まってないんでちょっと待ってください。
And we do intend on making Gold Saucer updates.
Ninja-kun, right there, Ninja-kun.
It's going to be 6.4 or 6.5.
They just said it.
We're not mentioning it at this time.
You were like, where is it? It's like they dropped it. They were listening to your comment. They read your comment, Ninja-kun.
But yeah, just wanted to go through all of these.
Can we get Gold Saucer player housing?
We know that we continue, or we plan to continue providing very hefty updates.
ただですね、一個皆さんにこれを踏まえてですね、ちょっとお知らせをさせてください。
So they're still not really changing the patch cycle.
But with that being said,
oh wait.
Allow me to make one announcement.
Oh dear.
サイクルについてです。
And this is regarding the major patch cycle.
これまでですね、申請スタートから
Oh, here we go. Get ready. It's either going to be faster or it's going to take longer. Oh dear. It's going to be longer. It's going to be longer.
As a Realm Reborn, we've tried to keep this pace of one major patch update per every 3.5 months.
5 months. 5 months between patches. Okay, 4 months. 4 months.
And I'm
That's not
terribly sorry to
that's not a big deal.
ask you of this, but
That's
we
whatever.
need to extend it by 2 weeks, and so
That's
we want to change
everything's
it so
2
that
weeks.
it's
Every
one
delay
major
for this game
patch
is
every
2
4
weeks.
months.
でこの2週間って何かっていうとですねまあ我々開発内では実装期間っていうのと調整期間っていうので大きく2つあるんですけど、この実装期間にプラスあと1週間、それから調整期間にプラスあと1週間の時間をいただいて、
A summer break and a holiday. Look at that. Hell
マイメジャ
yeah.
ーパッチを 3.5 ヶ月でなんとかやってきたのをちょっと
This is
4ヶ月
good.
プラス2週させていただけると助かります。
So of course we have periods of our development cycle where it's development and then implementation.
This
and
was
various adjustments.
I'm really
between
glad the
the
development
two.
team pushed
So
up for this.
Those 2 weeks that we ask of you for your patience is 1 week for additional implementation, and then 1 week additional for fine tuning. So that makes it that 3.5 months now turns into 4 months.
でですね、
Hey, if 2 more extra weeks to clear Savage.
期間とか、まあ我々やっぱりサマーバケーション
Alright, so January 7th,
渡したり
February 7th,
年
March
末年
7th,
始やっぱり
April
家族とね
April
クリスマス年
13th.
っていうのがあるので、まあ夏季
April
休暇期間
9th
とか
is when
年末年始の場合には
6.1
まあこれ
will
に
be.
プラス1週間ねさせていただくことがあるかなと思います。
And in addition to that, we do have breaks, like summer vacation or summer holidays, New Year's holidays. I'm sure people have family that they would visit over the holidays, and so for those holiday seasons, we might see an additional like 1 week's not delay, but like 1 week's time added as well.
Let me
まあ
see
やっ
what
ぱり
this
こ
link
こま
is.
でその前半の10年間っていうところでもお伝えしましたけど、相当みんなの開発チーム運営チームのモチベーションっていうところに頼ってやってきたところがあるなと思っていて、まあそれは僕自身の
I don't know what
稼働の
FSR
高さも含めて
is.
なん
Is
で
that
すけど、
AMD?
まあ休みたいというよりはやっぱり適切
Isn't
に
FSR
みんな
AMD
健康で
stuff?
健やかに
FSR is
開発に取り組むこと
AMD's
でよりクオリティも上がっていくだろう
DLSS thing.
まあ事実足りてない無理をしてきたっていうところもあるので、ちょっとそれが理由になってます。
What about it?
As I explained in the first half, when we were looking back at our first 10 years,
Is it being added in
we
14?
really depended on the motivation of each of the developers that are on the team, and me included. I was moving around and very hands-on with my team, but looking
okay.
at our schedule and how we work, I do
Interesting.
want my team to be healthy and be able to sort of maintain a good level of quality because they are taking the necessary breaks. And to be honest, there were areas where we might not have performed as well as we should have because some of us may have been pushing too hard. So that's the reasoning behind why we want additional time.
でまあ非常にね皆さん優しいコメントいただけてるんでとても嬉しい。特にスタッフの健康とかね気遣っていただけてるんでとても嬉しいんですけど、まあ、これまで 2.0 からねなんとか 3.5 ヶ月でこうやってきたこの実装10何週調整何週みたいなのでまあやってきたんですけど、ちょっとね比較を持ってきました。
And thank you so much for the kind comments regarding our staff and making sure that you're showing your concern to our staff members. It really warms my heart, and I'll make sure to relay that. But considering what we've been doing in terms of providing an update every 3.5 months since 2.0, and we work with a schedule of like such and such weeks for implementation and whatnot. So we put together this comparison chart for you to take a look.
Oh, they want to show you how it's like not that big of a deal. I mean, it isn't.
開発、調整、デバッグっていうのを、まあ、3.5 ヶ月でやってきてたんですけど、
Of course,
I
our
see.
Development largely is broken down to planning, development, adjustments, and debug. And this is some of the numbers that we've pulled up.
まあ、パッチ 3.3 の時が左の列、5.3 の時が右の列です。
So the column on the left is patch 3.3 series timing, and then the column on the right is patch 5.3 series.
まあ、コンテンツ数がねそこまで極端にってわけじゃないんですけど、やっぱジョブ数がまずね11だったのが18になってたり、ボス数が作ってるボス数がもう17から23って増えてるんですね。これ当然調整コストめちゃくちゃ増えてるんで。増えましたな。
So, I mean,
this right here is why I think we're not.
Types of content may not have varied.
This is further out.
The years, but
I don't know how they're gonna add many more jobs to this game. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
From patch 3.3,
like they can add like 2 more, and I think they can't.
Now jumped up to 18 as of 5.3.
Like 20 is gonna be like the cap.
Balance adjustments for those. Number of bosses have gone from 17 to 23.
もちろんね開発スタッフっていうのも皆さんからいただいた月額課金で、まあ、どんどん採用してどんどん増やしていて、チーム規模が
I could see them potentially fusing some jobs together.
そんなに簡単に僕ら工場製品作ってるわけじゃないので
combining elements of 2 jobs like maybe Monk and Ninja and turning them into a brand new type of melee.
経験も必要。やっぱりそんなスーパーエースたちが中川とか須藤とかがバンバン育っていくわけじゃないので
Of course, with our development team, thanks to the support via monthly submissions or subscriptions,
they should try. They should actually try combining White Mage and Scholar.
We were able to hire additional staff,
like fusing them into a new healer.
Our team has definitely grown, but I mean, we're not in a factory manufacturing, like. We're not an assembly line. So we require training. We require for our staff to gain experience. Not everybody is a super ace player like Nakagawa or Sudo.
例えばこの開発チーム運営チーム三角形だとした場合に、この三角のスケールはめっちゃ大きくできるんですよ。はいはいはい。
Oh, you haven't heard what I think's happening, have you? I think healers are losing the differentiation between shield and regen healer. I think 7.0 is going to kill that. I don't think you're going to have a delineation anymore. Healer would just be healer. They'll all have shield and regen abilities. They're not going to, I don't think they're going to differentiate. I think that's going to be one of the big reworks for healers in 7.0.
So if you would imagine
I think 2 shield and 2. I don't think it works as it is.
Or how we're organized
it's better just to make them all
and
like double.
Always scale the triangle to be
Sage
larger,
Scholar
but,
has shown
I mean,
the desire for people to make things work. I think
they just
need to make them all be like.
I mean, we train.
Nothing overwrites the other thing. Everything stacks. Like they just need to be hard. Like the synergy needs to be just like cemented for all of them. Every healer should be able to work with the other again.
Requires a lot of adjustments.
Oh, I'm not arguing for class fusion. I was kind of joking, Ashes.
And of course, it would be.
I don't think job fusion's actually happening. That was just a joke.
Multiples of Yoshida. Maybe if we can clone him or like.
But I do think healers. 2 things that should happen are healers need to be reworked. The concept of shield and regen healer needs to go away, and they just need to both have the same types of kind of like abilities, because it is part of their homogenizing.
Sundered, so he's like thinner, like you're
homogenization. Sorry, I don't want to keep talking over them. I'm sorry. I think tanks also need to have a way to make OT be DPS stance again. I think tank stance should just like, it should be aggro generation, but like if you don't have it on, it's like a DPS gain, but it also could be a risk reward for tanks who want to get greedy.
And if we look at the cutscenes, we went from 2 hours 25 minutes to 4 hours and 30 minutes, and this is like
just
if you
duty finder needs.
Let the dialogue autoplay. But I mean, we have brought on many talented people onto our teams, but we still require somebody to look at the product that they create.
Again, I think the most logical thing. I think the most logical thing is that Blue Mage will be added. Blue Mage will either be left alone as is, or they could add it as a magical range job. Like rework it to be a magical ranged in an upcoming expansion. Preferably 7.0.
Going on about Sundered Yoshida, like, well, but what
And then add one more
like
physical
like
range.
a
So there's
low
4, 4,
quality
4, 4. But then you have melee with 5?
Just a man.
That was why I'm saying, like, maybe they drop a melee.
If
I had to guess, they would probably drop Monk.
I
guess it would be Monk or Ninja. Like, they won't touch Dragon or Samurai.
ちょっとこれまでのパッチサイクル3.5 ヶ月にプラス2周させていただいて4ヶ月っていうサイクルでですね、ここから先まだまだ楽しみお届けして。
But I don't know what they do. What happens in 8.0 when they can't add new
we are
jobs?
making various plans leading up to 7.0, and we still want to continue bringing you the different patch updates. And so, with the different elements that we implement, as well as the balancing that we do, the fine tuning, we don't want to compromise any of that. That's why we do want to continue producing the patches to the quality that we.
I'm probably not going to react to the Q&A because I want to go get dinner.
We do want to ask for that
and
2 weeks
I don't know
so
what's going to be in the Q&A. It might have interesting stuff, but I don't want to do another like 2 hours of this, unfortunately.
Regular updates.
I want to go back to playing some
本当にあと
other
10年
games.
やっていけばとてつもなく長い旅になると思ってます。皆さん
I hope in the Q&A they talk about the Xbox version. I'm really shocked they have not talked about the Xbox
and
version yet.
We strive for another 10 years. This is our goal. And I'm hoping that we will get to a point where we will be celebrating, or like we will be looking back at our journey in our 20th anniversary.
Don't say that. Do you understand? Every single person playing this game right now that is like 20 or older, think of 10 years now, you are going to be the mid-range age. You're going to be either approaching middle-aged, middle-aged, or older.
More and more challenges, bring you more surprises. So
all of you like Zoomers right now, you're going to have like younger, 10-year younger people than you joining the game, and they're going to make fun of you for like watching TikTok. They'd be like, TikTok, isn't that for stupid 30-year-olds? That's so dumb.
Thank you very much. So this is all about the first half of today's Letter Live. 今日の前半プロデュースされたライブの前半戦はここまでとなっています。
DC トラベル
Oh, you don't know, Vic? In video game, 25 or older is middle age.
で予定してますんで。
Sorry, one more thing. We did see a lot of comments about, so when is data center travel going to be implemented? We are currently looking at 6.18 timing for that.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Wait, what did they just say? I
この後
missed.
休憩に入るんですが、
I was reading a
今日は
work
後半戦
message and
は
I missed what they just said.
別の方を
What's coming in
お願い
patch
することになっております
6.what?
ので、
08?
ここまでとなります。So before going
Wait.
to break, because we have another
Yes!
person for
6.18 is data center travel?
So that's it for Aimi-san today. So
Yeah! All right. I can delete a lot of my characters.
Thank you guys so much for your patience as we navigate
Because she's
through all
green
of
screened
this.
Asian Chunky. She's not really there.
I will see you guys
She's in LA. They're in the Tokyo, the Japan office.
ありがとうございます。Thank you very much.
So I don't know if that's actually in
僕
Tokyo.
がね安心してこうゲームシステムの話っていうのを全世界の皆さんにこう
Thought their headquarters was in Shibuya, but I might be wrong.
本当にあゆみさんの高い翻訳スキル、特にね僕の性格を把握した上でのやっぱり
No cross region. We know there's no cross region yet.
僕らもコンビを組ませてもらって
6.18 would be like July.
ありがとうございます。ここどうやって
Like July.
吉田さんは
July or August.
Aimi-san
Because of
really
April
knows,
April 6.1,
characteristics very
May,
well. So
June,
it's
July.
rely
July
on-
would be
we
3
are
months.
very
So possibly,
relying
and then
on Aimi-san's
August
translation
would be
for, when he
4
explains
months.
the game systems or mechanics. So thank you very much, Aimi-san again.
Thank you.
はい。では今から休憩に
Alright.
入るんですが
So they were pretty on the nose. It wasn't earth-shattering stuff. Like, I think a lot of us hyped it up to be bigger than what it was going to ever be.
At 1:40 p.m. Japan time, which is in 20 minutes. でですね、
But it's
今日の
essentially
休憩のお供を
trust,
ご紹介したいと思います。
expansion of trust, and being able to run instance content in the story with NPCs.
Yeah, we have a 3-second digest preview of all the songs from the upcoming Endwalker soundtrack.
Yo, here we go.
Time-lapse video of mosaic art we created live using screenshots that we were submitted by our players during another broadcast. 2本ありまして、1本目は、先日つい最近公開しましたエンドウォーカーのサントラが出ます。それの
I hope the soundtrack is just like 5 seconds of each song, like they did for the last soundtrack trailer.
その後ですね。
It's like every single song and just 5 seconds of it.
別の生放送企画
I will watch that.
モザイクアート皆さんからお送りいただいた
They talked about the graphics update.
企画がありまして、
And then they talked about the patch cycle. So I mean, it was what most people were saying it was going to be. It was expected stuff. The whole thing about time skip and all that, that's like leading into the expansion, if that's true or not. We're not going to hear about that till then. That's a spaceship. Yo, they do a graphical overhaul for the logo for the spaceship. Wait, hey, 3, 4. They did it. They're doing it. The same trailer. It's like 3 seconds. Oh, man. I love this. The battle theme. Nighttime. Oh, God. When you have the Aether Sickness. Thavnair. Nighttime of Raz at hand. Tower of Zot. Boss battle music. So good. Ah, Garlemald music. Elpis music. Let's go. The radio music! Spoilers. Ooh, nighttime Garlemald. That is ominous as hell. Good. Hell yeah. Let's go, Moon. Hey, spoilers! Spoilers! Look away, spoilers! Oh my god, Final Fantasy IV, yes. Yes, they're including it! That was 85 dungeon. They just showed the spaceship! They don't get. You're seeing everything. Good luck. Oh, Elpis at Night is great. Yo, the Metal Gear mission. This is Thancred. Massive spoilers. Massive spoilers. Oh my god, this music. Love it. They're playing all the phases of it. So good. Ah, the ends. Dead ends. Yes, let's go. I've not watched it yet. Ooh, flow. Show that Xenos. I want to see Xenos fight. Oh, this music stinks. They kind of lost the budget at this part. This version of Flow is amazing. It only plays when you fight her. Yo, mine's already shipping right now. Where's yours? Let's go. What is this? Oh, it's the mosaic. Yeah, they mentioned this. Do you think they would make the Warrior of Light on the moon? Is that what they're making right now? Oh no, it's like all the box arts. It's 1.0 onward. Look, it's all the Warrior of Lights. Oh shit. Yeah, 1.0, A Realm Reborn, Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers. Dude, that is sick. How do you even do this? Like, plan this out? This is beyond me. I don't understand how you do this. It's pretty good. It's like a little, not perfect, but good. Easier than fixing 1.0. Okay. Good one. Will this be a video they put up on their site? Alright. Oh, they're playing Prelude. I can't walk away from Prelude. Let's see which version of Prelude this is. I'm going to crank this. Oh, it's already loud. Please play 1.0. I think this is 1.0. Maybe it's not. Like, it's not advancing, so I don't think it is. This might just be the one that plays during the Highland Crystal part in the intro. There's a very distinct sound to the 1.0 version when it gets into the higher pitch stuff. If it ever advances past the harp. If it gets like a really deep sound, it's a Realm Reborn's. If it's a high pitched, it's 1.0's. If it sounds like chimes or something like crystals, okay, they're just not advancing. It's just on loop. Whoa, man, they've been trolled left and right tonight. I just wanted to go to the next part. Will it advance? This is like when I played Final Fantasy XIV Remake and they tease Airless theme for the first time and it never goes beyond the first few notes. I like waited there for like 5 minutes, like, please just go next part of the song. I just want to hear it. Oh. This is the break. It won't go. This is how they get you to stay. They know you're not leaving because you want to hear the next part. Anyway, yeah, that was pretty much expected. It was nice to see some of the graphical overhaul stuff they're going to be implementing in the next 2 years. Everything sounds like it's going to be a slow, very measured process to maintain stability of the game, but also like try and push as much as they can. And also, if any of the examples just looked horrible to you for whatever reason, keep in mind that it is just them testing stuff. Nothing is locked and set in stone just yet, so voice your feedback with constructive criticism, and they'll actually probably, if they see it, you know, they'll take it to heart. So, you know, don't go saying like it looks like, you know, being too aggressive about it, because it's like not the ultimate final decision yet. The trust stuff was pretty much what everyone, the base level thing we thought was happening, and they've even been saying it kind of like almost in outright what they were doing. But and then the patch schedule, like it's gonna be every 4 months, 3.5 months. That's not that big of a deal. The two things that I was wondering if they were gonna talk about, I guess it makes sense that they did not talk about it here because they're too big. It would dominate the conversation for the next 2 years. Would be if 7.0 is gonna offer a clean break for new players who want to jump in there, aka via time skip or something. They have been kind of alluding to something like that, so maybe they have to talk about it sooner rather than later, but they didn't talk about it yet. And the other thing is, they said everything they talked about with the trust and the NPCs is just one of two components they're exploring to change the game to be single player. That they gave a timeline for it in each patch, how much they're going to be updating. But the thing that's been tossed around a lot is that the potentially 14 will have a true single player mode at some point in the future, where you do not have to engage or interact with a single other player online, but you still need to like have an account. Like it's still going to be that, because they can't make it a standalone single player game. Just if you don't know, like this game can be data mined to hell, but like you can data mine a boss to like see what it looks like, even see like graphical stuff, but actions, what they do, are all done server side, so you can't actually get AI. Like there's no enemy programming or stuff like that. Like if you not advocating for this, but anyone who's ever tried to go see a private server of this game, it's literally just, it's like walking through a museum. Nothing moves. You just go through and walk around and get to look at everything, but you can't interact with anything. So the point I'm trying to make here is that it's very highly unlikely they could ever make this an offline game. An offline version of this game would be a whole other project that would need its own separate huge development team, which is not. Yeah, like when people say Dragon Quest X offline, like look what it looks like. Doesn't even look like Dragon Quest X. It's like this chibified DS looking game, like portable looking game that doesn't look anything like the core game. Like trying to do this would be a massive effort, so that's not happening. But a way for you to log on and you play and you just don't see any other players in the game, because you think about it, people who log in on patch day or expansion day and you're running to an NPC and the people who really value the story, you see like hundreds of players swarming around this NPC. It's the most immersion breaking thing. A lot of us don't get turned off by that, or we laugh and mock it, but some people do care about that. It's like, it's, you know, they don't like that. So I wonder if that's where these rumors are born, that they are going to make a way for you to play either like a setting to turn off other players so they just don't appear, and it filters out chat, so they're like, there's just, you don't ever, by default, you don't hear any or see any player interactions. But like, I don't know, there's some things you just can't get, like the market board. Like, would they just turn off the market board at that point so you can't buy stuff except from NPCs? Yeah, like there's so many unknown variables there. And is it a toggle? Can you like switch it off and go back to multiplayer? Will it be like WoW's PvP system at that one point where you could toggle PvP on or off? I don't know. Yeah, it would have to be, I imagine it'd be toggle and filter options. It wouldn't be something, I think I was getting a little too extravagant with my like theories with the like dedicated server for single player. Like, no, it's not happening. Anyway, what do I want to get for food? Let me see if I can order something real quick, if they're still open. Let's see, order now. Order food. Are you even open right now? You're even taking, probably not taking orders because they close soon, right? No, they are open. Let me see, I just want to make sure I can order my stuff. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. That worked. No! It added more to my bag, you dumb thing. It already saved my order. Okay, remove. Alright. Is this right? Let's do checkout. Oh, they're not letting me order ahead at this location, so I'd have to pick up another location. Alright, well, I might order something else then. They're open to 9, but they don't allow online orders after like 8:20 or something. Anyway, there's a lot to talk about. I don't know. I let me go eat. I can stream more in a bit. I can come back. I just want to eat. I don't want to stream for another 2-3 hours and then have to go get fast food and like try and eat protein style fast food, because I hate eating fast food like more than once a week. Even like lettuce wrap burger. It just tastes gross to me most of the time. And fast food's super expensive now. Like, it's just like not even worth it, like for how trash it is. But anyway, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go get food, and then they did it. I complained about leaving and they advanced the song. Yes, This is a Realm Reborn's version, by the way. This is not 1.0. This is a Realm Reborn's version. Anyway, I'm gonna get food, and then yeah, if no one wants to stream, like otherwise aren't gonna stream tonight, I might hop on and we can talk more. We can talk more about this stuff because we don't generally get to talk about this in depth. If you have any questions or want to ask me what I think about stuff, I will hop back on. But give me like an hour or so. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Yeah, I wanted Brad to be here, but he's really busy on assignment. You can guess what. So, you know, and Ben hasn't finished Endwalker, and they literally had Endwalker spoilers in here. So very good that he didn't join us for that because it would have ruined it. So yeah, that's why they weren't, why I did this solo. So yeah, I'll be back. Thanks everyone, and enjoy the rest of the live letter. Hit me up on Twitter if they announce anything big. Like, if you want me to react to something that, like, they did have something big, just tweet me and be like, don't look, like, Damiani, don't look at this or something, or I don't know. Find a way to, like, let me know without spoiling it. All right, I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of the live letter. I will react to the Savix video if you remember to remind me when I come back.